Well, it's finally happened. Russell Wilson gives you the full what, when, where, why, and how with Ciara. And there's a lot to unpack here, so we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it.
Crazy is that, I was married before, and I'm single.
Yeah.
I had a whole plan.
Oh, God. What was your plan?
Man, my plan was good. It was a great plan. I'm 23, 24. I'm 24 years old, whatever it is. I'm just won a Super Bowl. I'm going to be single for about 10 years.
Oh, man.
I got a whole, I'm going to meet some friends along the way, and then you're going to marry your best friend, that whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll be 10 years. And sure enough, about a year and a half into my plan, I meet her. And I knew exactly when I met her. She was the one. And I think a big part of it was...
What? Wait a minute, Russell, how you saying it? What was it? Because people don't believe that. What you just talked about was like pretty much a version of love at first sight. How?
It really was. A couple things had happened. One, I had actually told somebody I knew before, I was like, somebody asked me, who do you see yourself with? And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, Ciara. They were like... She ain't gonna like you. I said, why? I said, I don't think she's gonna like you. I said, she ain't met me yet.
Okay.
All right. So first off, he tells you, I had a plan. It was a great plan. Well, yeah, that was back when you were still a competitor. That was back when your goal was still to be a great football player. That was before you fully simped out to life and gave up on yourself. So he said he had a great plan. He got out of his marriage and that he was going to just sit back and take time to him. Take time to himself. Take time for himself. All those things females say, baby. It's all about me now. Okay, well, what really hurts them is when a man has status and resources and he stops making a female the zenith of his goals. He said, hey, I'm going to just take time to me and I'm 23 years old. I'm at the height of my abilities. He was thinking exactly what the hell you're supposed to think for a man in his position. There is no biological clock. There is no worry. There is no rush. There is no reason for you to sit up here and talk stupid. None. So he actually had his head screwed on halfway straight. And he was actually focused on what he's supposed to be focused on. Hey, I'm just going to take time for me. But you got to understand, simps are insecure. And by definition, they can't be left alone because they're emotionally needy. So that was a idle threat, and everyone around him saw it. But then he has somebody who's talking to him, and what it tells y'all is folks know he's a lame. They know that he's a lame. They've always told him that he's a lame. And even when he was talking about it, even when he's around fellas who ain't lames, and when they say, well, what are you going to do? Or who do you see yourself being with? And he says, like, Ciara. And somebody next to him is like, he doesn't want to say the whole truth right here. Because remember, Russell Wilson is a snake and a liar. And I'm not overstating it. I'm not being hyperbolic. Russell Wilson is a two-faced snake and a liar. And so it shows you his character, or should I say lack thereof. So when he was asked this question, when saying it, he doesn't tell the whole truth about himself, because I know they didn't just say, she's not going to like you. They told him, well, why you two are different. Hey, dude, she's with a guy named Future. Hey, dude, she's in these streets. Hey, dude, you're a super little wannabe Christian lying hypocrite. She's not like you. She wants street dudes. And she ain't met me yet. So that doesn't make any sense in the context in which he just explained it. It only makes sense if he's leaving out huge pieces of it, which, of course, he's doing.
I had actually told somebody I knew before, I was like, somebody asked me, who do you see yourself with? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, Ciara. They were like, she ain't gonna like you. I said, why? I said, I don't think she's gonna like you. I said, she ain't met me yet.
Okay.
Okay, so Kiki is basically having a bipolar episode. But in any case, what he just said there doesn't make any sense, not for him. And she's not going to like you. Well, and he said, why not? I don't know. She's just not going to like you. That doesn't make any sense the way he said it. It's like, no, because you're a lame. She likes exciting street dudes, and you are none of those things. Next, he's going to get into the things that he was looking for And here's the issue, folks. He's going to be describing the total opposite of himself. This is how you know there's a big problem. When he starts describing his non-negotiables, the character traits that he describes that he's looking for in a woman, those are character traits that a woman looks for in a man. What? Oh, don't worry. We're going to get right into it.
Talk about she gonna like me. She don't know me.
That was the first thing.
So
then
crazy.
Fast forward.
She doesn't know you, but your friends do know you, and that's why they are saying, yeah, she's not going to like you. They know you.
Or, I'm kind of seeing some people. I'm just chilling, whatever, 10-year window. And so then fast forward, what happens is I go to church one day on a Sunday. Sunday night I go to dinner with my pastor. We're sitting there talking. I said, man, I need to write my 5 non-negotiables. He said, 5 non-negotiables. He said, you said negotiables in your sermon. I said, you weren't talking about this, but I believe in marriage. Like I said earlier, marriage is a business deal. It's life. It's partnership. It's this, that, and the other. I said, I need to write my 5 non-negotiables. What I want a woman. Number 1 is I want a woman of faith, right, who believe in God, this and that. I want a woman who is faithful, not just to me, but to everything she does. When her yes is yes, her no is no. I want a woman who was independent, didn't have to be Ciara, but somebody had their own identity and wasn't just Russell's wife. I wanted somebody that was also someone who was similar to my mom. Yeah, my mom was helping my dad when he was on his deathbed. My dad used to always say, you're always going to be good because you're mama. And then I wanted somebody that would tilt the room. When they walk in the room, that the whole room changes.
Okay, and that's true about her.
Yeah, so those 5 things. So those 5 things I wrote down, prayed over. We prayed over that night. He said, "Why 5?" I said, "5 is the number of grace." I said, "Marriage and life is about grace."
Yes,
so we wrote 5 of them down. And 3 days later, I meet Steve for the first time. And so we meet each other. Fast forward, like the moment I met her, what was interesting is Future was about 9 months or so, and it was just a bond right from the beginning. And I told her, I said, no matter if you and I ever end up together, I'm gonna make sure I look out for a little man and help whatever way you need. But I knew.
Okay, so Russell Wilson is finally admitting to the world where all the hoes, sluts, and liars and all the lame, geeked-ass simps didn't want him to admit. He's admitting to the world that he walked in the front door saying, "I'll be stepdaddy." We're still dealing with an infant, still dealing with a baby, and he's walking in the front door, and his offer is, whether you and I are together or not, I still want to be stepdaddy. Well, because if she doesn't want you, well, don't you need a sponsor? Hey, even if I'm a total lame and you're completely unattracted to me, well, can't I just trick it all off? So yeah, I know all the hating simps out there, boy. Y'all on suicide watch right now. You and all the gutless hoes. You hate that he came out and just said it. It's like, because no man wants to be this. Did I call it or did I call it?
And deal with it, nigga.
Folks, it wasn't super deep. It wasn't elevated. It wasn't well thought through. It's not a 4D chess move. This is the same garbage that you see from every overpaid simp, lame idiot out there. Nothing special. He was a fan, but he's also weak and a lame. And so she ain't met me, and he walked in the door leading with his wallet. Hey, Ciara, heard you was struggling. Hey, Ciara, I will follow your lead. Whatever you want, I'll take care of it. Even if you don't want me, I will snivel and grovel. Let me just take care of your kids. Pathetic. But also, gutless lying ass simp, because he is. Let's go ahead and see if we can jump back in here and go over his so-called non-negotiables, which, by the way, were completely compromised. He claimed they're not negotiables, and yet from the very beginning, he negotiated and compromised on everything.
I said I need to write my 5 non-negotiables. What I want a woman. Number 1 is I want a woman of faith.
Okay, let's go ahead and dismantle that. People, what part of Ciara is a woman of faith? Ever? Show me, what was the woman of faith 15 years ago? Where was it? What was this woman of faith that he saw in Ciara? Somebody show me where it was. Hell, forget 15 years ago. How about 15 months ago? Where was this, quote, woman of faith? Which faith are we referring to? The faith of the church of twerking? What? What part of Ciara said faith? Christian, religious, pious, what part is he talking about? Because she was competing with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and all the rest of the hosts. What is he talking about? He doesn't substantiate this. He doesn't explain it. He doesn't tell you how she was living that life. So why is it he never explains that? Because Russell Wilson is a two-faced lying simp. And don't worry, I'm going to get off into that in a few moments here because I want to rub this in the clown-ass haters' faces. I'm going to rub your faces in it all night. This will be a very uncomfortable program for you because you hate that we were right. So where was this woman of faith that he's referring to? Nobody sees it. No one can find it. He doesn't explain it. He doesn't anything. He just says it and keeps going. So, yeah. First of all, that's a non-negotiable. I just proved to you that non-negotiable was never even there. So he's basically making something up because he knows what his mother would think. And I know he mentioned his mother. He knows what his mother would think. And it's like, yeah, he was always a square little lame. And like Catholic schoolgirls who are raised in square lame houses, first thing they do when they get out that house is try to prove that that's not who they are. Russell Wilson, square little lame dude. And the first thing that he wanted to do was prove that I'm not like my parents. I'm not you. I mean, there's some good parts to this, but I'm not like you. So he didn't have a player phase. He had a rebellious phase later in life. That's how lame he is. He didn't even have his rebellious phase when he was an adolescent or a teenager. He just late bloomed all over the place.
Right, who believe in God, this and that. I want a woman who's faithful, not just to me, but to everything she does. When her yes is yes, her no is no.
I want a woman who's faithful. What part of Ciara has ever said faithful? Single mom, dude. What part of her has ever said faithful? So when he says faithful what she does, what he's describing is a career woman. What Russell Wilson is about to go into is to explain to all of you that he wanted a woman that he could look up to. That's called being a fan. He doesn't want to be a leader. He doesn't want to be the big person in the house. He wants to be a fan, and he was looking for a female that he could be a fan of. And of all the available options, Beyonce wasn't available. She wouldn't have took you anyway. But of all the available options, Ciara was what was left, and he was looking to be a little mama's boy and a fan. He wanted a female that he could look up to. Oh, she does a lot of things. He did not want the most important thing in her life to be him. He's going to expose all of this. So this is what happens when you have straight kids who were raised in households, but they have contempt for the value of the household they were raised in. So this is a damning testimony against his parents' upbringing of him. But then again, you see this in a lot of religious homes where they talk about religion a lot, but then again, they're low on character. High on religion, low on character. You have a son who has contempt for all those things. And the woman that he got with is the final report card. He went straight. A woman who is independent.
Nigga, what?
Why didn't he just say a feminist? He wants a woman who is independent. I want a woman. Do you hear this talk? He wants her to do her own thing. I want her to be independent. And okay. Yeah, I mean, look, this is a reformed hoe's dream. A little sorry, sad sack simp who doesn't make himself the most valuable thing in the room. He makes sucking up to her his priority.
I wanted somebody that was also someone who was similar to my mom. Yeah, you know, my mom was helping my dad when he was on his deathbed. My dad used to always say, you know, you're always going to be good because you're mama. And then I wanted somebody that would.
Does Ciara strike any of us as that kind of female? Ciara has never been with a guy who was started at the bottom and made it to the top. Ciara has never been there. Ciara didn't look for it. She could have gone anywhere she wanted to. She has no interest in a guy who needs to build himself up. So once again, like I say, he's just lying his way through life. When you get these little religious kids, they become adults and they just become these pathological, degenerate liars. So everything they say is just this rolling stream of falsehoods. And they think they're slick. They really do. But they think they're slick. No, and when it's told pathetically to his face that, dude, we all see what the hell you're doing here. This is ridiculous. Well, they just kind of keep going. You know, the Derek Jacksons. What? Yeah, Russell kind of looks like Derek here, doesn't he? So, yeah, the Derek Jackson types. The Candace Owens types. They're lame. They're busted, but They go around thinking that they're smarter than the rest of the room is. They think they're the smartest con artist that's ever touched Earth. And yeah, all right.
Would tilt the room when they walk in the room, that their whole room. And then I wanted somebody that would tilt the room when they walk in the room, that their whole room changes.
Okay, and that's true about her.
I wanted a woman that when she walks into the room, she tilts the room. The whole room changes. Folks, this is the definition of pedestalizing. It's great to have a female who is intelligent and magnetic and charismatic and has presence. That's all great. That's wonderful. If he had said that as a singular data point, he's just going on and on and on and on. Oh, yeah. And one more thing. Did you notice that the things that he's talking about, none of these are like his mom? He's not describing his mother. I just want to put that in stark contrast for you. He's not describing his mom. Not at all. So let me not leave out highlighting that for you. That he's gone looking for a female who is completely different from the one that raised him. That's what he took away from the Wilson household. Did you catch that? He's describing a star. He's describing a celebrity. He's not describing the little Christian church girl who raised him. Ciara is completely the polar opposite of that. And instead, what he's referring to and talking about is a female that he can look up to. I keep repeating that to you because I want you to understand that. Recognize that he keeps describing a female he can look up to, pedestalize, admire. She tilts the room. I'm not the most important thing. Well, dude, let me explain something to you all. When you ask Ciara about this stuff, she does not describe Russell Wilson that way. She doesn't say any of those things about him. Oh, man. She does not describe him as a guy who tilts the room. She doesn't describe him that way. This is simp mentality. He got lucky in life by a fluke of genetics. He got to get into sports because we are in the only era in human history where somebody like him could actually achieve financially what he did, because professional sports did not exist before the last century. So by a fluke of genetics and chronological timing, he had an opportunity to do that. And what he showed you was that all of that's worthless to him. He would cash it all in if he could only find a female who he felt would validate him. I want her to tilt the room when she walks in. Yeah, because he thinks he's going to get, secondhand status from his woman to compensate for the lameness that he knows he is, to try to compensate for that. Pathetic in the worst of all worlds.
And then I wanted somebody that would tilt the room. When they walk in the room, that their whole room changes.
Okay, and that's true about her.
Yeah. So those five things. So those 5 things I wrote down, prayed over. We prayed over that night. He said, "Why 5?" I said, 5 is the number of grace. I said, marriage and life is by grace.
Yes,
So we wrote 5.
Okay, that's called numerology, actually. That's not mathematics, Kiki. That's called numerology. The idea that numbers have symbolic properties to them. Solid symbolic properties. That's numerology. It shouldn't be lost on anybody that all the single moms in the room are like, yay, finally, a whale. Like at the casinos, there's a whale in the room. Okay, well, Kiki, there's not too many of them left out there, ma'am, so just admire. They're looking for what it really shows you is their contempt for men. They want a man they can victimize. That's what gets their motor going, is a guy they can victimize and clown and exploit and juice. Yeah, it comes down to that. But hold on, folks, we're not done yet.
So we wrote 5 of them down. And 3 days later, I meet Steve for the first time. And so we meet each other.
Oh, yeah. One more thing about that numerology thing. Do you all know Ciara doesn't talk like that? Did you all notice that Ciara doesn't talk like that? Did you all notice that Ciara doesn't discuss things like this? You don't hear Ciara discussing Bible verses, biblical numerology. He's talking about 5 being the number of grace, 7 is the number of completion. You find duality and Trinity throughout things, for those of you who don't know your biblical numerology. So 2, 3, 5, 7. The numbers actually keep going, 12, 13. So in any case, do y'all notice that Ciara never does that? Yeah, he wants a woman of faith, but she never demonstrates any of these properties. He's the only one in their relationship who talks like that. She does all the worldly stuff and all the secular stuff, but she doesn't ever go around giving us Bible classes. Ciara doesn't talk. Somebody show me, when has Ciara talked about her conversations with her pastor? I'll wait. Damn! Come on now, for all the hoe-huggers out there. For all the hoe-huggers out there still dealing with your single mama childhood trauma. Hey, by the way, when has Ciara ever told us about her conversations with her pastor? Because according to Russell Wilson, she's a woman of faith, and this is all important. That's great, Russell, because we're waiting to hear when you're the only one who talks about conversation with the pastor. You're the only one who talks about Bible verses. You're the only one who talks about biblical numerology. Why don't you shut up? You can be very good at that. We just want to hear her talk about that now. Hey, Ciara, why don't you tell us about your favorite parts of the Bible, your conversation with your pastor, and what you take away from biblical numerology? Because you see, if I was doing this interview, I would have broke off into that, and things would have got real awkward real quick. And it's very important that occur, because the amounts of damage being done by this multi-million-dollar meathead have had reverberations throughout society that individuals like him who are willing to throw away whole fortunes, sending an absolutely diabolical message across the society to reinforce something so wicked and heinous, but he's willing to throw away everything he's ever done in a desperate and ultimately futile attempt to compensate for his historical lameness. But hey, folks, by the way, why doesn't Ciara ever talk like this? Why is he the only one talking about his conversations with his pastor? Where are her stories of conversations with the pastor, with the deaconesses, with the choir? You can go to her Instagram. You don't see any of that there. She is still popping in butt cheeks and everything else. And no conversations with the pastor over there. No Bible verses. No, none of that. He's still going to think he's going to juice this even in retirement. No, don't worry. The bill always comes due.
Later, I meet Steve for the first time. 5 of them down. And 3 days later, I meet Steve for the first time. And so we meet each other. Fast forward, like the moment I met her, what was interesting is featured about 9 months or so. And it was just a bond right from the beginning. And I told her, I said, no matter if you and I ever end up together, I'm going to make sure I look out for a little man.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
Oh, my God, bro. Oh, hell no. Boy, what in the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah. There it is. So 3 days after he wrote down his fictional list that he didn't even stand by the way. 3 days later, I met Ciara. And he saw the world's most infamous single mom who struck out with the dude she really wanted to be with. These are all red flags down the damn line. Single mom by the man she really wanted to be with. And you know that you don't qualify, you don't rank. So he went bartering with the only thing he did have. Well, I'll step in. I know you're dealing with a burden right now, so I can step in and take care of Future's kids. Well, there was an immediate bond. This is hoe tactics. No male of any species, let me say this again, people, no male of any species, quote unquote, forms an attachment and a bond to another male's offspring immediately. Unless, of course, you are the beta of the tribe. Now, betas do that because they are looking for the protection of the alpha, which is really like being a second wife. What? But no man forms an instant bond with another male's offspring and then starts talking about taking care of them. You can meet them, you can think they're cute, you can think a number of things, but why, we had a bond. You just said they're a baby. How are we bonding? The moment you met. No, you just said, okay, single mom, we'll just go ahead and you make the single mama offer. Okay, let's try this again with the females out there. A lot of hoes listening. He called us hoes again. Ah, damn, so dead.
Deal with it, nigga.
All the hoes listening. If the fella works at Circle K and you walk in with your booty shorts and he responds like that, yeah, or if he's pumping the gas, or flipping the burgers, yeah, you wouldn't consider that to be a compliment. You'd be like, yeah, this nigga just think I'm a single mom and I'm in a bad spot, which you are. You would not be acting like that was special or wonderful. You would respond exactly like what it is. It's no different with him. What he's really doing is reflecting the volume of his lameness. He knows that he's got a tremendous deficit he's working against. So he just came in the door, just, here you go, just trick it all. Just, the bank is open, whatever you need, baby, whatever it is. Things that his superior future didn't have to do and never would have done. However, this is what he has to do. Walking in the door, claiming that he wants to be the stepdaddy. Walking in the door. It was gutless. It was and is gutless and pathetic. And this is what he was relegated to. He's waited until after he retired to finally tell the whole story, which is exactly what I said it was from the beginning. Where are all the folks who were arguing with me to come back and apologize? Because, yeah, you were claiming it wasn't like this, and here he is all these years later. Yeah, it was exactly like that. It was just like that. Yeah, he was a lame. He went wishing he could find a fly chick because fly chicks don't dig him. And he found a former fly chick that he could pick up secondhand in the discount bin from the future dollar store. And he walked in and said, here, everything I've acquired through the NFL, there you go. It's all in your lap right there. I'm not asking or demanding anything but to be Ciara's sidekick. And she saw an opportunity to capitalize on the Super Bowl, which, by the way, didn't go very well because it was all downhill after him, because she thought that she found the problem with her getting this simp is that she found the one player in the NFL who was no longer interested in competing. Congratulations, Ciara. You found the one simp sucker who he was no longer interested in competing. His goal now was to be your husband and to snuggle up under you. So you thought you found a fellow who was on his way to yet another Super Bowl. And he's like, oh, no, I'm on the way to your house now. Yeah, I'm just going to stay hugged up under you and boot up under you. And she's like, okay, well, you got to get back out there and produce it. We'll come back to that later. Don't worry about it. And it never happened.
And help whatever way you need. But I knew no matter if you and I ever end up together, I'm going to make sure I look out for a little man and help whatever way you need. But I knew it was going to be like something real. And so, I mean, I think what
do you see her cheesing over there? Do y'all see her smiling?
Real. And so, I mean, I think what's amazing, I knew it was going to be like something real.
You all see her over there cheesing? Fellas, what male talks like this? What male approaches a female who has a baby by a multi-millionaire and tells her, I'm going to make sure that your baby that you just had 9 months ago by this mega multi-millionaire future, I want to make sure y'all are good. If you need anything, what the hell does she need? This is what you say to chicks at the state office building. This is what you say to chicks with a Section 8 voucher. And that's the mentality. It just shows you that that's the mentality he came to it with because, yeah, he was compromised. So he was giving her the Section 8 voucher offer. Yeah, just, well, baby, you look here, you know, he ain't gonna take care of the kids. If you let me in, I'll pay the future tax. I'll take care of future's kids because that's the tax that lames have to pay when you are not their first choice. Self-degradation and humiliation.
And help whatever way you need. But I knew it was going to be like something real. And so, I mean, I think what's amazing going back to the question, though, of like, how do you know? I think I think life is a journey, right? You meet people along the way, you go through relationship situations, this and that. And I think
he's talking about her right now. He's not talking about himself right now. Now he's talking about her. Well, I mean, life's a journey and you go through situations. And I mean, sometimes you get messed up in the game, but he's trying to smooth this over so that, quote unquote, we would be understanding of it.
I think life is a journey, right? You meet people along the way, you go through relationship situations, this and that. And I think it's all a formulation of the imperfect ingredients of what God desires for you. And I think that ultimately we experience life situations, people, this and that. And at some point we realize, okay, well, God, what do you really have for me? And I think that, in our situation, like, being a stepdad to a future and really, that's the greatest love to me. You talking about fatherhood earlier.
Nigga, what?
Yeah, just in case you thought he was done. Just in case you all thought he was done. At this point here, he is still laying it on thick all these years later, because what this really exposes is the only thing he has to offer her is sucking up to take care of Future's kid. You know why? Because as I told y'all, that's the man she really wanted to be with. So in order for her to have any interest in him, he's got to have total allegiance to Future's bloodline. You notice how long he's gone on about Future's kid. He's gone on and on and on and on about Future's kid. Ain't said nothing about their family yet. He will, but not yet. No, everything's about Future's kid. Yes, because that's where her interest is. Her interest is in Future and in Future's kid. And in order for him to even qualify to be in her presence, it's really about, okay, what you gonna do for Future's kid? And so he just keeps hanging his hat on that. This is humiliating. This is embarrassing. This is obnoxious. But yeah.
And that. And at some point we realize, okay, well, God, what do you really have for me? And I think that, in our situation, like, being a stepdad to a future and really, that's the greatest love to me. You talking about fatherhood earlier, like to me, right? Like to be able to raise a son as if he's your own blood is the greatest gift. And to me, that's how I've always looked at how God's relationship with Jesus was, and Jesus did marriage. So like to me,
okay, the most sinful person in the room is talking about amen, although Russell's probably the worst. To care for somebody else's child as if they were your own. So what he's exposing to you now is that this is what he thinks that he offers Ciara. This is what he offered in the negotiation. In his mind, in the negotiation, what he offered her was, I will care for Future's son as if he were my own. So you should give me is everything you're going to give me of yourself, because, and what I give you in return of equal value is I'm as concerned about him as the real dad would be. And yeah. By the way, isn't Ciara dressed so Christian up there right now? What? Yeah. Such a Christian outfit. Just like mom used to wear. Right, Russell? This lying, two-faced, fraudulent simp, but yeah, just like mom used to wear.
Like to be able to raise a
to church or Wednesday Bible study, just like mom used to wear.
Son as if he's your own blood is the greatest gift. And to me, that's how I've always looked at how God's relationship with Jesus was, and Jesus did marriage. So like to me, like that's always been significant to me of how we're intended to love as dad.
The Virgin Mary was not a single mom. The Virgin Mary was not a single mom. You ridiculous, delusional, lying, fraudulent asshat. The Virgin Mary was not a single mom. You feckless, shameless liar. So anyway, as you all would imagine here, like most pseudo phony religious zealots, they're not even stating the events correctly.
and none of us are perfect in that sense, but just knowing that like God loves us that much. And so how do I love my
None of us are perfect. Talking about her again. He's talking about how she's not perfect. Did you get that? Did you get that? Yeah, talking about how she's not perfect. Yeah. He's talking about her. She's not perfect. So just keep that in mind. No, that's not accidental. That is not accidental at all. He's letting the little things there slip out. She's not perfect. Yeah, it's not all greatness and rainbows and whatnot. No, she's not perfect. And now he's trying to rationalize why that's okay. What he's really trying to do is explain why it would be all right for her. Well, it's all right for you because, yeah, I mean, none of us are perfect. So it's letting him know that stuff is bothering him. That stuff is bothering him. It's bothering him. He can't help it. He can't help it now. And he's like, okay, let me explain to you all why that occurred there.
kids, and not just future, but Win and Ciara and none of us are perfect in that sense, but just knowing that like God loves us that much. And so how do I love my kids, and not just future, but Win and Ciara and Amora. And so I think that's a big piece of it for me too, is being able to share that as family.
The most pathetic interview probably in the history of sports. The fellas who sit up here and rack up the hose and then just stand 10 toes down. That's the kind of thing that you're taking a look at right there. This was pathetic. This was despicable. Anybody who was supporting him all this time, you are equally pathetic and despicable. Because you got to understand, now we got to get off into some griminess here. The truth of the matter is that most males in society today, they wish they had Russell's money to trick off. Because let's be clear, he's not offering anything else. At the time he was offering the status of a Super Bowl, he's not offering anything else now. And let's just be honest, a bunch of fellas out there, you're the average dude, okay. But you wish you had Russell's money to trick off. You wish you had $100 million so that you could just dump it at some chick's feet in order for her to accept you, because there's not a man inside of you to accept. So a lot of you are supporting it because you wish you had it to give. I mean, you would never play a game. You'd never play a down. You'd never go to training camp. You just would like the money. It's okay. Well, just trick it all. Just trick it all off. And Russell Wilson is pathetic because this is exactly what you don't want to be. However, I'd like to go a little bit further into this. Now, did you all notice that this video is about his 5 non-negotiables, okay? He talks about his non-negotiables. But did you notice what he didn't say? Did you notice that? Did you all notice what he didn't say? When Russell talked about his non-negotiables, did you all notice that he didn't say one of his negotiables was she can't be a hoe?
What? Damn!
She can't be sexually promiscuous. She's got to have good character. Did you notice he didn't say that? All his non-negotiables for a female and her sexual and personal character was irrelevant. Did you notice that that wasn't on his list? Now, why is that? He talked about her impression she makes and being independent instead. He talked about that 2 or 3 times. But he didn't say anything about her sexual character. That didn't come up at all. Now, he obviously prioritized it. And yet, when he talks about these things, never mentioned it. Perhaps someone can explain to me why that is. You notice he also didn't talk about her Christian credentials. Did you get that also? He didn't say a word about how she is acknowledged among other Christians. He didn't say anything about other people have said this Ciara is a good Christian woman. Didn't say that at all. Why is that? Why is that? Why is it that would not come up? In the chat room there, very glad to hear that. Oh, very glad to hear that. Heart Chad, so glad you asked that question. And of course, because you are here on the business, you'll have the opportunity to ask it directly. So, why don't we go ahead and just fire up the Zoom? And we'll go ahead and get Heart Chad up here, and they can ask me these questions directly. We'll be glad to have that conversation. We'll be very glad to have that conversation with you. So let's just go ahead and get you on up here. All right, here's the link to the Zoom here in the chat room for you here, Heart Chatty. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that, and let's pin that to the Zoom. Now you can go ahead and ask your questions directly. You got 2 minutes to be on Zoom. Let's go ahead and chop it up. Let's go ahead and chop it up. In the chat room, Alicia World needs to give me a call on Zoom. Alicia World, you have 2 minutes to give me a call on. I'm so glad the Ciara Russell Wilson supporters they're a little triggered, but that's okay. See, we have a forum here to have these discussions. So no more comments in the chat room from Heart Chad or Alicia World. Alicia World and Heart Chad need to be on Zoom. They got 2 minutes. Go ahead and hit the link there. Sit back, smile, and dial. And we can go ahead and have this discussion directly. Remember, folks, if these things are legitimate arguments, if it can actually be defended, if it's actually a real thing, then it's not hard to defend it. Lies, garbage, con artists, bullcrap artists, frauds, that's hard to defend. That takes a lot of talking. What doesn't take a lot of talking or difficulty is when you're saying something that's reliable and truthful. That's very easy to defend. Very easy, straightforward. You're very eager to do it because you're like, it's very simple. 2 + 2 is 4. I'll show you. When it's not, when you're speaking from desperation or emotion, life gets rough. Life gets rough, life gets difficult. Case in point, here's the part where I got to rub it in. Here's the part where I got to do it. Let me deal with a couple of things here. First of all, for the folks out there who you're all butt hurt because Ciara reminds you of your mom, except not as good looking, and you're kind of dealing with your childhood single mama trauma, and you're wishing she had gotten her life together, but it never really happened. Let's go ahead and deal with Russell Simpson. Yes, I said Simpson, not Wilson. Russell Simpson. Ask yourselves one question. For those of you getting angry and getting upset, and you're mad because, when you sit up here and point to him, your problem is no males want to be him. See, that's supposed to be the shine. Dudes wanted to be Future. Nobody wants to be Russell Wilson. He doesn't walk in a room full of men and the men are like, I want to be like him. So the value of being with him is strictly for a female looking for a bailout. What you don't get is any social status. He's a lame and a loser. So he can give personal benefits, but there is no social benefit to saying I'm the wife of Russell Wilson. You get laughs, you get jeers, you get mocked, but there's really no shine to it. He hasn't won anything in over a decade. It's a wrap. It's over. So basically, Russell Wilson has become the county office. He's become the welfare building. He can throw dollars, but he can't build up your image. But for all the feckless Russell Wilson ass kissers and all the Ciara suck-ups, ask yourselves one question. Let's just say that all of us here are feckless haters, and you're just hating on Russell, always hating on Russell. Okay, let me ask you one question, which should have a very simple, direct, straightforward answer. If we're all just petty, ridiculous haters, okay, fine, we'll be that. However, answer me this. Why is it that he gets no respect from his former teammates? What? Damn! If we're just feckless haters, okay, fine. Well, that explains why we're saying what we're saying, because we're just haters, okay? Why is it that for all of his former teammates talk about him the exact same way? The folk who played with him at the Super Bowl, why is it that they all talk about him the same way? Russell Wilson, none of the former players in the NFL, none of them rock with him. None of them rock with him. None of them see with him. And I'm not just talking about Seattle. What? Whoa. I'm not just talking about Seattle. Folks, Seattle, Denver, Pittsburgh, New York, nobody rocks with him. None of the players, none of the coaches, none of the staff. Nobody wants to be seen with Russell Wilson. Nobody goes around rocking with him. So it's going to be hella awkward him trying to do commentary when he gets no respect whatsoever from the actual players, the actual participants in the game. So if we're all just haters, explain to me why it is that even the folks on the field in the game, they talk about him and treat him the exact same way. Are you sure that you're not just the dummy and the rest of us got this right? Are you sure that's not the real explanation for it? Are you certain? Because if it's just us, if we're the problem, then explain to me why even the players in the NFL treat him the same way. Now, that's a question you're going to have to answer, which is why all the teams he's been on, they all treat him the same way that we do. So if he's this wonderful, upstanding, stand-up dude, why is it they all treat him the same way? And just you sitting in the comments section somewhere, you're the only people, you don't even know him, and you're talking about how great of a guy he is. He's been patting it on his stepdaddy. Russell Wilson is the type of poison, the type of degenerate poison in society that gets used as a mascot for the purposes of bullying men. What you all didn't like is the fact it blew up in your faces. That's what you didn't like. Russell, you thought he was going to be a symbol that was going to recruit all of us, and instead he became a laughingstock. He became everything you don't want to be. He became a tool that we were able to use to make things even worse for you. And it should be. A man isn't supposed to acquire hundreds of millions of dollars in value and then dump them at the feet of the nearest single mom who just left the street dude that things didn't work out for. That shows that you are a waste. You're a waste as a player. You're a waste as a producer. You're a waste as a man. You're a waste. And you can go around doing all of the preaching that you want to about the virtues of what you're doing. However, the fact that the men have scattered from you and abandoned you, that's the real problem. That's the real issue. The real problem is you can't get any men to rally to you. The men are not rallying to your side. They're not rallying to your cause. The men don't want to emulate you. This was supposed to be your ability to rehabilitate. This was supposed to be your moment to rehabilitate her, which was the only reason she got there. And it went down in flames. As it should have. As it should have, because Russell Wilson is the type of poison that we have to deal with. In the chat room, Esteban Sarah needs to give us a call up on Zoom. They say there's Russell Wilson hate. Okay, so these aren't Russell Wilson facts. This is, quote, hate. You all got to understand, the average sports spectator, I mean, if you've ever been to an NFL game or been to your kinfolk's house, you can see what you're dealing with. They're not high achievers. They're not high climbers. They're spectators. They're basically on the same level as comic book shop geeks. What? Dirty, dingy, unappealing individuals. It's like, so they have to live vicariously. The females they've been with are absolutely nothing to get excited about. So when they see a Ciara, I mean, that's light years over what they got access to. They're like, all she got is a kid? Sign me up. That's those guys. All she got is 2 or 3 kids? Nigga, I can work with that. He's going to go straight out to the baby store and straight to Walmart or Target and go pick up a bunch of car seats, put them in the back of his Dodge Charger. Got one here and one over here. Ooh, she got 3 kids, though. Can I put a car seat in the trunk? So just understand that. You have to understand the mentality of the guys you're dealing with here. So when you see them coming in with their capes on, just understand where they see life from. Just understand what their perspective on life is. They got a joint in one hand and a life of failure and bills in the other. So, if she only got 2 or 3 kids, I agree with it. Because have you seen some of the bugger wolves he's been with? She's a big upgrade from that. Let's go ahead and jump over here on the Zoom right quick. I think this might be Hart over here on Zoom. It might be. We'll see. Waiting for the Zimbabwe broadband to come through here for them. Okay, Hart, not really sure what's going on here, but for those of you who call up on Zoom, make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on. YouTube is not going to see you. The only person who'll see you is me. However, just to make sure we don't have any trolling issues, make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on just so we don't have any trolling issues. YouTube is not going to see you. Just me, but just to make sure that there's no trolling. So whoever Hart is, I'll give you 3 seconds to get that taken care of. Then we got to move on. Okay, Hart, I don't know why you're giving me a wonderful view of your ceiling fan up there. By the way, you might want to address that a little bit. Okay, I don't see anything here. So Hart, I'll give you 3 seconds to get that resolved. We don't have to play no games about it. Just 3 seconds to get that resolved, and then we got to move on. I'll give you 2 seconds to get that resolved, and then we got to move on. I'll give you 1 more second to get that resolved. Point your camera down. Point your camera down. We need to have a light on. You got the light in low and sultry for me. Try turning around. Because otherwise we think you're trolling. Okay. All right, Hart. You want to explain to us?
I just wanted to know, why is it important for him to say that on an interview?
Okay. Why was it important for him to say the other 5 things he said?
Because he's not that type of guy. He's not going to... When was the last time he mentioned anything about hoes? He doesn't speak in that manner.
When's the last time that he mentioned anything about a woman tilting the room?
Well, he doesn't speak about hoes. He never did.
When's the last time he spoke about numerology?
I didn't watch the whole clip, but
okay, well that's okay.
never-
I'll play. You said that you're the one who just mentioned about when's the last time you mentioned those things. So I'm just saying, okay, when's the last time you mentioned that? Now
I don't know.
Okay, as a female, how valuable is a woman's sexual history to men in general?
He doesn't have to speak.
Okay,
about
well slow down,
though-
Hart. I asked a question. Let me try again. How important is a woman's sexual history to men in general?
Very important.
Oh, okay. Well, isn't that interesting that he's looking for a wife and he's not a word about her sexual character for something that you just said is very high priority to men? Why is it that didn't come up?
Even though he didn't say it out loud, that doesn't mean he doesn't feel that internally.
Okay, but he had 5 things that he mentioned. He was actually redundant with 2 of them.
So that doesn't mean he does. That doesn't mean he has to say it out loud.
Okay, but he didn't even mention it secondarily or in passing. So he didn't mention among the 5 things, nor did he mention it otherwise.
He can still feel that way about hoes, but he doesn't have to say it out loud.
Okay, but you just mentioned that that's a major priority. So how can you miss one of the top priorities that men have?
But I'm speaking because of how I speak. Even though I can feel something internally, I'm not going to say it out loud.
Okay, but
even though it's important to me.
But that wasn't what occurred there. So I'll try again. We're talking about marrying a female. A woman's sexual character is a super high priority for men, especially for a woman whose sexual character is very much in doubt. So how is it that that's not a subject of discussion or mention? He's talking about those things around the edges. Well, I mean, folks make mistakes and she got a kid over here. Why is it her sexual character, which you've already acknowledged, very high priority? How is it that doesn't even get mentioned?
Like I said, he doesn't have to say it out loud. He doesn't have to.
Okay, well, if you didn't say it out loud, then there's no proof that it's a priority at all. And based on what his actions, very clearly it wasn't. And the problem is that is a huge priority for men. Now, she built her whole career on her sexuality. So that's not like that's some side issue that nobody noticed. She built her whole career on it. So obviously that's front and center. So what type of woman does he think he's getting when she's booty popping with Ludacris and running around getting bastard kids with Future? What type of woman does he think he's getting?
I wouldn't call Ciara a hoe. I don't know her body count. I don't know anything about her sexual history.
Okay, she was with Future, who had how many kids by how many different women when she met him?
That doesn't make her
okay,
a hoe.
Let me try
Maybe
this a second time. She had kids by Future, who had how many baby mamas when she met him?
2 or 3.
Okay, so a woman who has illegitimate kid, has bastard kids with a fellow who's already got baby mamas, you don't think that's a hoe?
Maybe she
okay, second try. You know Future's sexual history.
No.
No. So we already know Future's sexual history. What a woman who's not a hoe would want to be with that guy?
Maybe she wasn't a hoe.
Okay, we know Future's sexual history. Name for me the woman who's not a hoe, who that's the man she wants to be with.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm asking you, tell me the kind of woman that's the kind of guy that she would want to be with if you're not a hoe.
Maybe they were in a committed relationship. I don't know.
How can you be in a committed relationship with a guy with 2 or 3 baby mamas and he does freak offs? So let's be clear. Future don't just do vanilla stuff. Remember, he likes girl, and the whole damn 9 yards. He's smoking weed. Listen to his discography. Excuse me? Future's discography was what she married. So we know what kind of guy he is. Him and Diddy are fellow travelers. So, ma'am, we know what kind of woman you have to be for Future to be okay with you. So why are you trying to be misleading? We know what kind of woman you have to be for Future to want to spend time with you. Future doesn't know any vanilla women, nor does he have any desire for them. So why are you being so dishonest right now? You know what kind of women Future likes.
Actually, I don't know.
Okay.
Even a man who's a hoe still wants a virgin. He still likes virgins.
Okay, well, if he likes virgins, why has he got so many baby mamas?
Maybe maybe that was her first.
Okay, what about what she did? She wasn't the first one he got pregnant and it was her first child. That's a lie. Everything you're saying is maybe.
A virgin, but he wasn't.
Okay,
maybe she was a virgin and he wasn't.
Okay, what's that got to do with her? Why would she want to get wrapped up in that cesspool?
I don't know the history. I don't know.
Okay, you know Future. You do know him. You're making a lot of excuses for that. This is not normal. Do you have any children?
No.
Lie. Come on, try again.
No, I tried the first time. No.
Okay, where's that accent from? Are you in New York?
Yep.
Okay, where's that accent from?
I don't have an accent.
Yeah, you do. When you first started talking, you did. You still got it now.
I don't have an accent.
Bahamian. Where's that accent from? Come on
New
now.
York.
You got to claim it now. Where's your grandmama from?
New York, born and raised.
Okay, which Caribbean island is she from?
No Caribbean island.
Okay. Nobody's from New York. Everybody moves to New York. So there's 0% chance of that. So let's not do that.
I was born and raised here.
No, your grandmother was not. So there's 0% chance of that. So where they come in from?
Costa Rica.
There you go. That's not so hard.
But I don't have it. Yeah, but I don't have an accent.
Ma'am, you have an accent. You had it when you got on the phone. How did I know that you were not from here? You can't hear it. You've been in that New York bubble so long that you all can't hear your accents. So, no, ma'am. Your accent is glaring out of the screen. It was blaring through our ears the moment you started talking. I've been to New York many a moon. You all need to understand, you all have been you're so conditioned to it. You can't hear it anymore. The rest of the world can hear it. So, I'm not saying raising it as a negative. I'm not being insulting. I'm just saying, by the way, the moment you open your mouth to somebody who's not hanging out in New York, immediate. So, nothing wrong with that. However, it also answers a few other things. So, in those kind of situations, it kind of answers that. Thank you very much. Give us a call. All right. Make sure she's not blocked or anything. Yeah, y'all, she didn't think we could hear the accent. I said the second she got on the phone talking, I'm like, okay, it's right there. I ain't got no accent. I do not have an accent. Okay. All right. What she say? Look, anybody who gonna take care of these kids, anybody who gonna take care of these kids, that's what we looking for. See, now I gotta get a little grimy with it. Fellas, there's nothing wrong. Listen to me. There's nothing wrong with finding you a chick out there. You know, if she's from Jamaica or something, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. That's great. That's wonderful. Cool little Caribbean chick. That's fine. However, you also need to understand where she comes from. Whole bunch of chicks in Jamaica. I mean, them dudes get chicks pregnant and then poof, he's gone like David Copperfield. I mean, it's a bunch of chicks dragging a bunch of kids around. So if you're dealing with a chick who comes from that culture, from that environment, just recognize she doesn't really think anything of that occurring. Everybody else got one. So when they start defending these things, just recognize the perspective that they're defending it from. Of course you're supposed to try to be a stepdaddy. Of course you're not. Well, she can't afford for you to have an issue with picking up these kids. So of course you need to do that. Of course that's all right. Of course it's okay. So when we start expressing if there's an issue, do you understand we messing up the whole damn bag all the way back? It's like, hey, who gonna come take care of these kids on the back end? Somebody got to come pick up the kids on the back end. let's see if we can find somebody that you men admire, and maybe we can turn him into a mascot to be the bailout plan, so that the women don't have to actually become honorable and decent and respectable. In other words, here's the whole issue of it. The whole issue is the real scummy, disgusting part of Ciara's prayer. Ciara's prayer promised all the females that your hoe phase doesn't have a price. That's the whole thing of it. It gave them the promise that as a female, you could indulge your darkest, grimiest, most disgusting hoe fantasies. You could get slung through the gutter. You could have your 50 Shades of Grey hoe. And at the end of it, you're going to get a pass and, oh, well, that's behind me. And that there will be no consequences and that there will be no bill. That's their fantasy. That's what they dream about. That's what they wish for. That we can go off, have our grimiest, most disgusting hoe phase, come back with a bunch of kids and a bunch of STDs and everything else, and that men are going to treat you like your worthless simp dad. That men are going to be obligated to respond to you like your daddy would, your daddy who turned you the hoe you are. He sits there and shakes his head. Oh, she out here in these streets. You have never seen a chick who was at the strip club whose daddy would walk through that damn front door and tear that bastard down until it get your ass off that stage. You've never seen it. You know why? Because that's not the type of men who raise them. That's not the type of men who raise them. The type of men who raise them, those who, she in them streets, man. What am I supposed to do? Nigga, that's your bloodline. That's your bloodline. So you see, you've never seen them fellas walk up and your daughter is sitting up there on the damn stage swinging a booty meat and getting dudes shoving dollar bills down her thong. That's the representative of your bloodline, and she's just up there doing it? There's the real issue. There's the real issue. The real issue here is that they're looking for every man to respond like they daddy. You get out here, you do your things, and come back and do that. And as a response, there is no deterrent, which is the whole damn plan. Not that they can have a hoe phase, because first of all, there's no such animal as a hoe phase, because it ain't a phase. There's no such creature as a hoe phase, because it's not a phase. It's not something that you do and then move on. Once a hoe it's in you. She is not going to be able to shake that off. There's a reason why we call them damaged goods. You can't go to the damn freak off with Diddy and you come back out here and, okay, that was just a wild weekend. Oh, hell no, you just a wild chick. You finally found a place where you could actually have the gourmet treatment. But no, there's no such thing as a hoe phase. They just want to sit up here and try to bully you and lie to you and tell you, oh, it was just a phase. No, it wasn't. That's where she wants to be. The issue is that the guys they want to do that with, those fellas by definition, you're not the only option. So you want to be the only option, but we don't live in a society that really allows that. We don't live in a society that really, truly allows you to be able to do that. So you get to go hang out with them. It gets to be cool. It gets to be wild. It gets to be great. And then you have to do like Cassie, you know, you have to sue somebody and steal the damn money and then flee the country. What? Cassie is currently in the process of trying to avoid judgments against herself.
Nigga, what?
By the way, Cassie is currently trying to hold on. Now that she's got that Diddy money, now folks are suing her, and she's like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that went bad quick, didn't it? Yeah, because Cassie, you were helping Diddy. All the things you accused Diddy of, you were helping him to do it. So now that everybody knows you sitting on that money, oh, now they're coming after her. So yeah, Cassie, thanks for providing all the evidence that other vulture attorneys need. You've given them the ability now to successfully sue you. Oh, you thought your scumbag attorneys were the only ones. Well, no, there's a whole bunch of vultures out there. And now that they know that you're getting tens of millions, they're now coming for you. How's it feel to be on this side of the fence? Okay. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. That's not going to work out for her either. I told you all this. The worst thing that can happen is letting these lawyers talk you off into something. It's not going to work out for her either. No. And yes, look for Alex Fine to make his way to the exits. Look for him to make his way to the exits because you see, Ciara's prayer is Ciara's lie. No man can tolerate or accept knowing that his female was at the future freak-off. The only way that works is if he's a down-and-out buster himself and he gets segregated and isolated off away from everyone else. The real issue comes when you attempt to flex her. That's when things become bad. If you and her just sit around the house like Ma and Pa Kettle, maybe y'all can make it. But if you are required to go out in public and they keep doing it, you're going to have to be able to flex about her, but she's not a flex because that sexual history matters because everybody knows that wasn't a fluke. That was who she really is. And now they don't respect you for it. Russell can't go into an arena and get cheers. He don't get that. He doesn't get the Bill Russell treatment. He doesn't get the Magic Johnson treatment. He doesn't get the Michael Jordan treatment. He doesn't get any of that. He doesn't get none of that. Russell shows up at arenas and there's people booing and jeering and whatnot. There's nobody sitting up here demanding to retire his jersey. That's it. He doesn't go anywhere and it's the superstars. When's the last time you all went online and saw people looking to take photos with him? It doesn't happen that way. He's more known for being Ciara's sidekick than for the Seahawks. They've already moved on. Sam Darnold, they're looking to the future. The future. And that's the other part right there. Can you imagine as a man being so emasculated? Every time you turn around, you have to keep saying Future's name. That right there would be enough for any man with any gumption, any man with any gall, any man with any dignity or self-respect would not be sitting there having to say Future's name. There is no self-respecting man who is going to sit there and over a decade later still has to keep saying Future's name. He would have demanded that boy be renamed or something, but he would not be here over a decade later having to call that boy Future. That sounds like some cuck behavior. But there is no self-respecting man who would sit here a damn decade later having to say her damn ex's name every damn day. There's no female who thinks that's what a man wants to do. She's just like, hey, I don't give a damn who gonna foot the bill. Just so long as one of you dumb niggas get over here and foot it. So, no, there's a reason why men are not desirous to be him. They're not looking to be him. They don't want to be him. You thought you were going to get folks to respect him. That blew up in your faces. You thought you were going to get folks to say they want to be like Future, like Mike. No, that didn't happen either. Because we all know what she did and we know where she been, and most of all, we know where she wishes that she really were. Because when she was at the height of her abilities, she would not give a Russell Wilson the time of day. And the worst part about all of this is that even under the best case scenario, even if you want to sit up here and feed all the damn lies and everything, even under the best case scenario, it's a drag to have a woman who only chooses you because all of her preferred options didn't work out. That's the real damn insult of it. You see, females don't have a problem with that because what they're looking for from a man is different from what a man's looking for from a woman. Who wants to be the guy? What the hell? How can you be proud to be with somebody knowing that the only reason they're sitting there is because their preferred option, the nigga is still sitting right over there, their preferred option didn't work out? If she could have gotten Future to commit to her, she would still be with him. The only reason she's here and she went all out. She went all out to get him to do it, and it didn't work. Now she's bringing you the damn baggage. What man can sit up here and be happy and proud and content knowing that the only reason that chick is sitting next to you is because her preferred options didn't want her? That didn't work out. See, that's the problem. Understand what the issue here is. That's the problem when you got a chick who's done porn or done the freak off. What? See, there's a reason why a man can't really fool with a chick who's done porn. I mean, it's like, okay, you have undeniable documented evidence in your face. She can't lie about who she is and what she is and what it is. It's right there in your face. Well, that's the whole issue with getting the ex-freak off chick. Like, you're just hoping the footage never dropped. Russell Wilson is one of the pathetic dead enders who's just desperately hoping the footage don't drop. But that's it. The rest of these chicks is like, okay, if you've been to the freak off, we know what the hell you did, baby. If Future let you in the room, we know what you did. Future does not deal with vanilla chicks. Y'all know full well Ciara has been in some threesomes, foursomes with a couple of chicks. They sitting around, I mean, smoking the weed, drinking the lean, turning up the drink. And she's in that bed wallowing around with whatever dudes or whatever girls wander into the room. That's what Russell thought. That's what Russell went running to and scrambling to as, quote, wife material. That's the problem. Right there. As a man, you know this. You know this. And she didn't do it because she didn't like it. Now, there's what the big lie is. The idea that women do that stuff and they don't really like it. Well, I mean, she did it, but she didn't really like it. When you see these white dudes who have a bee in their bonnet, if the chick has been with some black fellas and stuff, and there's some, yeah, she liked it. Let's be very, very clear. If she was in college and she was, I mean, tag teaming the damn football team, hey, Brad, she liked it.
And deal with it.
No, she didn't like it. She loved it. She liked it. She loved it. She wanted some more of it. When she's with you, that's what she's thinking about. So, hey, I mean, just it is what it is. As a man, that's going to bother you. You know why? Because you're expected to stand in front of bullets. The 720 degrees of analysis you'll receive absolutely nowhere else, but they will also disturb you when you do. The analysis you'll receive nowhere else, but it will also disturb you once you hear it. The problem with being a stepdaddy is that you are being required or expected to stand in front of bullets for a chick who wishes that something else had worked out. So you are being expected to give up everything so that you can have a chick who would not do the same for you. So he's talking about him and his dad's deathbed. It's like, dude, she didn't even want to be here. She doesn't want to be with an also-ran. She sees herself as a superstar. You've already told her that's the way you see her. And she's like, okay, but you're not at the top of anything. So she still tells herself that she's at the top of the food chain for females, but Russell, you're not at the top of anything. You're not. I'm not beating up on him. I'm just saying, hey, these are facts, man. He's not at the top of a damn thing. Case in point. I know the haters out there are going to be screaming here in just a moment. Okay, go ahead and squeal. Rub your faces in here for just a few moments here. Did I call it or did I call it? Russell Wilson accepts offer to join CBS Sports. I'm like, he ain't putting your career on pause. Dude, it's a wrap. It's over. But then again, you're not the one who retired. The NFL retired you. There were no offers. For those of you who know about this time of year, basketball and football, there were no offers. Russell Wilson sent his agent out. Russell Wilson sent out his agent. They sent out the feelers. They were checking to see, is there anybody who's going to offer him a starting position? Nobody. He is still in very good shape. He's in very good health. He's in very good condition. He's ready to have a starting position. There's no one who wants him to start for their team. I don't think there were a bunch of people wanting him to be a backup for their team. And then all the simps in the comments was just so angry. He played another 4 seasons, made over $100 million. That's something. Just old niggas here just talking. Just take a look at the caliber individual who does it. Old niggas talking. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. I got Chrissy here on Zoom, at least allegedly there. All right, Chrissy, what's on your mind?
Sorry.
Speak up.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. The broadcast was a little delayed. Hi, how are you?
You have a new gold weave in here.
I do. Why do you always remember what I look like? Anyway, so my main question when I'm watching this, like, what do you get out of this? Like, talking about married women. You're not married, correct?
Are you offering?
You're not married, correct?
Are you offering?
Are you willing to? No, I'm playing. Why, you taking me out?
No. The last time that you called me up, you already screwed yourself out of a bunch of money. The last time you called me up,
I said send me the money, and I gave you my cash.
Ma'am, you took too damn long. You took too damn long. You should have took it in the first place. You're a terrible strategist.
No, you started at 100, and I got you up to 300, and then you wouldn't give me the money.
No, ma'am, you didn't say yes quickly enough.
Yes, I did. I said, as soon as you said $300, I said, okay, send me the money, and then you hung up.
No, man, the whole thing is recorded.
Because you didn't have $300, and it's okay.
The whole thing is recorded. Okay. I want y'all to go back and find the program that she called in on. The whole thing was recorded.
And as soon as I said yes, you didn't give me the $300 because I started laughing. I was like, yeah. And then you hung up. And oh, wow. How lame.
But anyway. What it does show is that you was ready to drop it for it.
Obviously, if I negotiated up to $300, obviously I wasn't.
All we were doing was haggling over the price, as the old saying goes. That's all
and you wasn't willing to break bread. So
you were willing to break more than bread.
What? I was willing to show my face to your vicious, violent audience.
Baby.
Yeah, and putting myself at risk of violence. Yeah.
So you wouldn't do more than that?
No. Do you know how violent and vicious your audience is?
This is how foolish you are right there, is that you should not be saying things that are false. People can deal with you if you were an honest negotiator. When you're a dishonest negotiator, you're actually screwing yourself.
How am I dishonest when you wouldn't even give me the money when I said yes?
First of all,
you're the only one dishonest here.
First of all, that's not the way that happens. Second of all, there is no oil executive on your phone, but I am.
I've been stopped talking to him. First of all, my current man got my hair done, and don't worry about that.
That was getting your hair done?
Oh, please.
Okay, I can definitely.
Then why did you even mention it if my hair is not done?
Yeah,
that was literally the first thing you mentioned. But my hair ain't done. Oh my God,
I could
you're
definitely
such a clit writer.
I could definitely
You're such a
outdo
clit writer.
That. Yeah, that.
Anyway, you want to ride my clit so bad.
Okay.
It's really crazy. Anyways, what do you get out of making fun of women who? Anyway, you're not married, correct? I asked a simple question.
Yes, that's a silly question.
So you're not married anyway, because if you was, you would be like, yes, and my beautiful wife is in the back. Anyway, so you're not married.
I'm not married. Everybody knows that.
So what do you get out of talking about women who are married all the time? That's all you do, sit around talking about women who are married and men who are married, happily married.
Well, what do you get out of this? First of all, most marriages are not happily married. So that's a statistical
Thank you for admitting
lie.
that. Thank you. I'm gonna write that down.
First of all, most marriages are not happy marriages. That's a statistical lie. So your statement is fallacious. You're the one who made the statement, which is fallacious.
No, I said you're talking.
You just said people who are happily married, and I'm saying that actually they're not.
You talk about people who are happily married.
Okay, who are the happily married people I've talked about?
How do you know Ciara and Russell aren't happily married?
Okay, I just gave you the statistics that show it's not true. I just gave the statistics to prove it. Checkmate. Yeah, checkmate.
No, statistics do not say that their marriage isn't. They have 3 kids.
Okay, so
then they seem very happy.
So people having children. So if a woman gets pregnant, that indicates that she's happily married.
I just said they seem optically.
Okay, so you just said they have 3 kids. So having children is the indicator that you're happily married.
I said they have 3 kids, and she seems.
What does that have to do with her being married? I mean, with her being happy. What's that got to do with it?
She seems happy.
So having children is what indicates.
No, I
happy.
said optically.
Okay, so what is besides the children? Happy. What indicates that?
She seems joyous, light.
Seems. How do you see that? Where did you see that?
Her face and her appearance, my optical observation.
Okay, the face and appearance that I see from her is the one we always see. She's dutied up. She's made up. She's dutied up. She's made up. She's got her veneers in. So no, I don't see anything that we don't see from literally everybody else.
Okay, so for a woman to be happy, she has to be ugly, no makeup, looking like a freaking. What are you talking about?
No, what I'm saying is that if she were happy, then she would be as buoyant and gushing about him as he is about her, and that has never happened.
But I just said she looks light and happy.
No, you're talking about her facial expression, but then again, you're a bad judge of that. I'm talking about the indicator of happiness is not your facial expression. The indicator of happiness is your testimony, and she doesn't have a happy testimony about him. Now, he, on the other hand, is a lot more enthusiastic about her than she is about him. That's not a happy marriage. That's a symbiotic parasitic relationship. That's not a happy marriage.
I mean, they seem.
They seem. You're the judge of whether or not they seem. Okay.
Well, how would you judge if they were?
I just explained it to you.
Who do you think is a happy marriage then? Who do you think is a happy marriage?
A female who would fight, kill.
Stop saying female. Can you stop saying that? Can you say woman? That is so disrespectful.
Sister Polite, calm down. This is my program. And this is why. And this is why you're calling me. This is why you're calling me on a Friday.
So does that mean? First of all, I spent 12 hours getting my hair done. And I just woke up like an hour ago.
I was 12 all day. Took 12 hours.
No, it took 20 hours actually.
What I'm seeing on your head took 20 hours.
She's not a professional, and she didn't.
Clearly not. 4 children at a kindergarten could have done that in 8 hours. What? That took one person. That took 20 hours. That.
First of all, could you do it?
3/4 graders could have done that over lunch.
That's literally not true. This is a blended style. Anyway, you always talk about people who do things that you can't do. You can't braid hair. You can't get married. You can't get a girlfriend. But you always talk about people who do things you can't. Why do you do
I can get you to call me up and spend as much time as I want you to.
I literally called you because why are you sitting around talking about black women
you call me all the time.
Honestly, I call you because the things that you say, I feel like poison the mind.
Oh, so I can't. So I am popular with females.
I just said I feel like you poison the mind.
Oh, so I am popular and able to give females attention. Oh, so I can do it. And I'm very good at it.
What kind of sick marketing tactic is this? This is so sick.
Okay, well, obviously you love it.
I don't. It stresses me out every time you come on. I'm like, oh my
then
God.
Obviously you love the pressure because you keep coming back for more of it. Which, by the way, you are correct to do. No, honestly,
I don't like the way that you use like black empowerment to hide like your.
Okay, I'm not. What black empowerment am I discussing?
No.
Quote me. Quote me. What is the black empowerment that I'm discussing?
You used your overall influence to guide people to this sick channel about this.
Okay, I don't even promote this channel.
Then how the hell do people find it anyway?
Because I'm very good at what I do. I could start a channel about dogs sitting in the front yard, and I'll get people interested.
That you do have a very effective and sick marketing tactic. I will admit that.
Okay, just because you're not very good at it doesn't mean that I'm in the same boat.
I choose not to sink to certain levels. Pookie.
Okay, you have delusions of grandeur, which is the problem. Why don't we talk about something a little more relevant to you?
Says the unmarried man.
Why don't we talk about something a little more relevant to you? Why don't we discuss a side chick position? Now,
Jason,
by the way, folks, let's see if she screws. Let's see if she. Okay, you're gonna be quiet. Let's see if she screws this up as badly as she screwed up the last time. Let's see if she does something really stupid and screws this up just like she did before. Guys, now, here's what I want. Here's what you're going to do. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to be quiet. And in front of the world here, folks, just to show you something, we're going to go ahead and make you an offer. I'm going to make you a side chick position offer tonight.
How am I going to be a side chick when you ain't even got no man?
Be quiet. I'm going to give you a side chick position tonight. However,
you don't even have
it is contingent on one thing, one very minor thing. You have to simply tell everybody that the answer is not no.
Jason,
okay,
if you want me, you
ma'am.
Really could say that. You really could just say that if you want me.
Chrissy,
you don't have to disrespect me. It's really crazy.
I would like to extend to you a legit.
We from the same city, Jason.
I would like to extend to you extend to you a legitimate, for real side chick position tonight. All you have to do is
I'm honored.
All you have to do is tell everyone that the answer isn't no.
Jason, I don't know if the girls at
Southwood
is the answer
yes or no?
Mean to me,
Chrissy,
I was not the girls at Southwood that were mean to you. Jason.
I'm asking you a simple question: down. Is the answer
I don't
yes?
know, maybe you went to Shreve.
Is the answer yes or no?
That Keisha from up the street just dissed you so
Chrissy,
bad when you to Southwood.
Last try.
You got to disrespect me every time.
Is the answer yes or no?
First of all, let me see your main chick. Let me see the main one that I'm gonna be the side to.
Why don't worry about That's the problem. Bad negotiator. Worry about your key fob. Don't worry about theirs. Now,
all I know, this is a phantom position.
Is the answer yes or no?
Nah, I gotta see what you're working with. First of all, I don't know who you pulling first. I don't know what level you working with.
So the answer is not no.
It would depend on the benefits of the role. Currently, I'm not married, so yeah.
And that's how damn good I am. Now, what you are going to do now is you are going to send me an email at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. The subject line will simply be Chrissy side chick position. And we will have a discussion.
Okay.
Now get off my phone!
You're so crazy, bro.
Hang up, because I don't like a chick who talk too damn much. Hang up and get to emailing.
Shut the fuck.
You don't know nan nigga like me. Do the things I do. Spit the game I spit. You don't know nan nigga do this. You see a bunch of lame ass clowns call themselves fresh and fit and claim they got 9 iron rules and got to go drive around with a Bugatti. You ain't never met nan nigga do what I do. Ever in your life could sit down in front of the whole world and do this. Oh yeah, and by the way, doesn't have to even turn the damn camera on.
Deal with it, nigga.
No, Russell Wilson, we've met a million simps like you. What she ain't did is meet somebody like me. And Chrissy, I need that email in the next 10 minutes. I need that email in the next 10 minutes. So you ain't doing nothing else tonight. I'm going to let everybody know when I get it. Ma'am, I need my email in the next 10 minutes. I need it. I need that. I need that. Not tomorrow, not in 30 minutes. I need that right now, like my money. Like Frank Lucas, an American Gangster. I need that. I got to get that. No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm not playing. I'm not bull jiving. We're gonna get her side chick application. We're gonna evaluate her for her side chick position. Find somebody else who bull jive around. I don't do that. What the real problem with Chrissy is she ain't never been under no management. She has been under horrendous management. She did not leave. She went to go do my email. Damn! Yes, that's the real problem. Fellas sitting up here going round and round. For all that jaw jacking. Shut the hell up. Get to work. I ain't got the email yet. I'm waiting on it. Not tomorrow, not next week. It's a Friday. You about to screw yourself again. Oh, no, I'm not playing at all. No. Find somebody else you think is joking. I'm not joking at all. I'm dead ass serious. I am not joking. I'm not playing. I am for real. I meant exactly what I said. I don't play no games. I don't play no games. My email is already full enough as it is. I don't tell people to email me for nothing. If I say to email me, I mean that. I mean that for real. Absolutely. We're going to get that stupid ass septum ring out that nose. We're going to sit up here and get the hair done correctly. Because then looks like she had roosters and chickens do the hair. It's like, oh, no. Let's get all this straightened out. Let's get all this straightened out. All right, here we go. It's going to be like, now it's going to be a bunch of little old ladies talking about the Social Security didn't come through. And that's the other thing right there. It's like when I do mention this kind of thing, it's a bunch of chicks bringing me the grandmas gone wild. What? Yeah, boy, it'd be a bunch of 50 and 60 somethings pop up. Auntie, chill. Can I get a side chick position? You can get a side of fries. It becomes that, it starts this, all the chicks who didn't get in before, and Jason, they hear me talk about a side chick position and they be like, oh, he's serious, and they be like, oh, maybe, man, last train leaving. Yeah, man, they start doing me like, what's his name, Soldier Boy from The Boys, remember? For one of the most recent seasons, he was at the dude's house, and it's all a bunch of 60-something housekeepers. He's in bed with them, and it'd be like that right there. It's like I talk about a side chick position. I start getting emails from the Baywatch reunion. What? Start getting emails from the Baywatch reunion. What they say? They trying to do me like Russell Wilson. They trying to figure out, is there one more spin going on? Yeah, man. Not even the 106 in Park reunion. I mean the Baywatch reunion. It starts being like that. They all showing up like I'm FEMA, and they're presenting me with their bills. What? I need this, I need that. They all think if I can squeeze one time, join the morning cruise out this nigga, I'll be going. It's like that. Okay. Yeah, I know the game. Chrissy, you about to screw yourself again. Just letting y'all know this little dumbass heifer is about to screw herself again. Jason, I thought you were joking. Oh, no, I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. I don't play no games. The rest of these fellas out here, one of the reasons why they have to jump in front of cameras and stuff is because they're not going to do anything in real life. So it's no, I don't have to do any of that mess. I am for real. No, I don't get to kick it with celebrities and ball players and magnates and stuff like that because I don't really do this. Please. But you're wasting my time, Chrissy. Handle the business at yahoo.com. You got a couple more minutes left. I meant what I said. Get on that. You had a whole cell phone in your hands. I don't know why you're dragging your feet. See, all that hallucinating and lying you doing about oil executives and all that garbage right there. In the real world, we don't do that. In the real world, that's not what we do. That's why I'm saying you haven't been under in real management. You and some folks bull jiving around. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why you haven't been able to get the game upgraded. Because you keep doing that. You can't get the game upgraded because you are showing to be uncoachable. What Too Short say? I like big butts, not big mouths. So when you were given management said, here's your instructions. That literally is several minutes later and I'm still not seeing nothing. Yeah, you all thought it was going to be around and around and internet beef and this stuff. No, none of that. None of that. So anybody who didn't think I knew what the game was the first time, it's like, no, it's just like this right there. And by the way, unlike the rest of these clowns and whatnot, who sit up here and show up Netflix documentaries making asses of themselves, don't have to lie about this. Fellas, you don't have to lie about anything. Just be exactly what it is. Most men cannot actually say exactly what it is and be exactly what it is because they don't want to stand on business. Russell Wilson should have told Ciara, here's your side chick position. If it's just going to be my turn, I'm not going to overpay for my turn. I ain't mad at Russell Wilson for getting his turn. You think I'm upset about that?
Nigga, please.
What y'all talking about? I would have elbowed his little lame ass all the hell out the way. Would have knocked his ass over like the Water Boy with Adam Sandler. Boom! Get your ass out the damn way. I'm not begrudging him getting his turn. What I'm saying is that, dude, you stupid because you don't overpay for your turn. You don't overpay for your turn. You don't do that. You do not overpay for your Heart Chad. Okay, Heart Chad, get back on Zoom. Come here, Heart Chad. Get back on Zoom. I want Heart Chad back on Zoom. Let me get Heart Chad back up on here. Let me get Heart Chad back on Zoom. Come on up here, Heart Chad. No more typing in the chat room there. We want Heart Chad up on Zoom. Go ahead and time out Heart Chad for 24 hours here. If she's not back up on Zoom in the next couple minutes, let's go ahead and get Heart Chad up here. Oh no, y'all gotta go find somebody else who's worried about things. Y'all gotta find somebody else worried about that. No. Nope. We're going to go ahead and get them on up here. Still looking for... Okay, I ain't got Chrissy yet. Still waiting. Okay. About time. It took you forever. Okay, Chrissy, you gonna wait till I'm done with tonight's program. You gonna wait till I'm done with... Can't you see I'm working?
And deal with it, nigga.
Can't you see I'm working? Hey, baby, can't you see I'm working right now? She sent me an email asking all kinds of questions. Hey, I'm taking care of business. Can you do this? Can you do that? And I can't do a damn thing right now except tell you, wait. Can't you see I'm over here handling business? Can't you see I'm over here taking care of business? I got another chick I'm getting call me back in right now. So I'm about to install a traffic light on my Zoom. What? Can't y'all see traffic is backing up on my Zoom? So I'm handling business right now. I'm playing traffic cop. You wait till I get back over there. And I mean wait politely. Brother polite, sister polite, all the polites. But you wait politely until I get done with that. I'm not bull jiving around. I'm not upset at all that Russell Wilson got his turn. What I am upset about is when you're sitting up here trying to promote to everybody else that we're supposed to overpay. Russell Wilson should have handed Ciara her side chick application and done her just like Stephon Diggs is doing Cardi B.
And deal with it, nigga.
What Stephon Diggs is doing with Cardi B, with the exception of having the kid, that's what Klay Thompson did with Meg the Stallion. That's what Russell Wilson was supposed to do. That was the play. Right there. That was the play. How Playboy Klay did with Meg the Stallion, that's what Russell Wilson was supposed to do with Ciara. And you know what? Ciara would still be with him today. Where the hell's she going? Go try to find some lame, simp-ass ball player 10 years younger? She ain't got no damn leverage. What he should have done was do like Playboy Klay with Meg the Stallion. Keep it P. Hey, baby, look here. I'm signing your contract. We putting you under a temporary contract. We putting you under a temporary contract. That's what he should have done. Because that would have shown her what his value was. And she would have loved it. You know why? Because that's what Future did. And that's what Future would have done. Future would never have married her. And Future never would have had kids because that ain't who she is. He wouldn't have been her damn trick and he wouldn't have been her damn simp. He wouldn't have done that. Instead, he showed her that her value is way higher than his, at least in his head. And she's never going to forget that he values her much more than she values him. He had an opportunity to show it, and he didn't do it. That's where you went wrong. He walked in the front damn door holding his entire net worth and value and then plopped in her lap. And that was the total wrong thing to do. So fellas, if you're the problem isn't fellas out here having their turn. The problem is men not being in charge of the damn thing and just say from the beginning, this is what it is, these are the rules, and that's it. The problem is most men don't have the ability to say no. Most men don't have the ability to just say they're in such a sexual drought and they're such sexual scavengers. They don't actually have the ability to say yes or no. They don't have the ability to tell her this was going to be, and if you don't like it, walk. Because he's used to every female passing him by. So when he does actually get one who stops long enough to acknowledge his existence, he goes all the damn way in. That's what the hell is wrong. And Russell Wilson is proof that you can give a man status and fame and everything else, but if he's an insecure, lame simp, he's going to cash all that out and go give it away. Because he knows that what he shows Ciara by him giving in, he told you it was simping at first sight. What? It wasn't love at first sight, it was simping at first sight. And what he did was he immediately gave away the farm right in front of her face. He folded and he showed her right in front of her face, you're more valuable than me. The move to make was to make it clear to her, I am more valuable than you. Number one, because that's what Ciara wants. That's what every woman wants. No woman wants a man who considers her to be more valuable than him. All this damn I am the prize talk, that's the stupid mess of it. How do the females treat the guys who consider her to be the damn prize? Okay, for you to be the prize, that means the man has to be worth less than you are. And what do the females complain about? They want a man who's worth more. They don't want to be the prize. They want to be a reward. They don't want to be the prize. If you treat them like a prize, she's like, okay, I'm more valuable than you. And then she goes cheating on you with the guy that's more valuable than her. Or at least the one who sees himself as more valuable than her. Because the bottom line is, you don't have more value than her if all you got is money. If you are money, if you are insecurity and inferiority wrapped in a bank account, that's not value. If you are inferiority and insecurity wrapped in a bank account, that's not value. That isn't value. And Russell is insecurity wrapped in a bank account. And what she'll do is she'll cheat on you with the pool boy. He doesn't have money, no, but he's got security that you don't. He's got confidence that you don't. He's like, hey, baby, look here. You can be Ciara all you want to. You're just another single mom. So the real question is, at the end of the day, I'm still going to be expected to stand in front of bullets for you. So how are you worth the value? Lames don't get it, then again, they're not supposed to get it. They never do. So recognize where it went wrong. Stephon Diggs went wrong getting them chicks pregnant. He's got the damn Playboy mansion over there. Nigga, you winning. But what it shows you is that these guys who were never actually taught anything, you give them a bunch of resources, that doesn't change the fact that they mismanage things. Grossly, hideously. It doesn't change the fact they keep doing that. And in Russell's case, he was doing good right up until he got desperate. Well, then again, he's been desperate his whole life. And she saw him coming, and as I told you all, he was a fan. He was looking for a star. He got his turn and wasn't willing to say no. And now look at him. He's at her mercy. And if she's going to make that move and leave, she needs to do that in the next couple of years while he's still... Well, then again, actually, to be totally honest, she doesn't have to do that. She actually doesn't have to do that because she's already gotten the value. Everything that he has acquired in the last decade, that's it. She already gets a cut of that. So the assets are just sitting there. So in reality, she's been alleviated of any urgency. She doesn't have to get up and bolt. She doesn't have to get up and bolt. She can just sit right there. Okay, something weird is going on here. Something weird is going on here. Yeah, y'all, we got madness and insanity happening here. In the meantime, let me go ahead and check over here on Super Chat. Who is, my man Jason C7993 dropping through.
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time.
All right, my man Jason C7993 is respecting the game. Respecting the game. He saw how things went down and said, okay. He's saying that's the way you do it. Yes, that's exactly the way you do it. Shout out to Jason C. Letting everybody know exactly what it is. When you see value, when you see business, damn game, when you see business, you respect that. You respect that. By the way, I tried to respond to Chrissy's email. It keeps giving me that mailer Damon error, so I don't know what she's doing over there. I don't know what scam email she's writing me from, but Chrissy, I've responded to it. I don't know why it keeps giving an error. I don't know why it keeps giving an error. So if you got it blocked or if you're using your employer's email. What? If you're using your employer's email after hours and ain't working, If you're using it after hours and ain't working. By the way, this subject line you sent. Okay. This subject line. Yeah, ma'am, you might want to use a real email address. I don't know what's going on. I can receive it from you. For some reason, you're not receiving mine. So while we getting everything else together, we're going to get you a real email address from a real email provider. We're going to get her a real email address from a real email provider. That's the first thing I can game you up on. That's the first thing I can help you out with. See if we can get you a real email address from a real email provider. See if I can do that one first. Of all the things I can help you out with, let me see if I can help you out with that one. What the hell happened to Heart Chad? Either y'all, by the way, what happened to her? What happened to her? I'm ducking no phage. I'm ducking no phage. Yeah, y'all got to understand, see, they're used to having bull jive ass conversations. They're used to that. They're used to that. And in the internet world today, you have a bunch of garbage ass discussions that really aren't about anything. There's a bunch of folks sitting up here flinging mud, bodily fluids at each other, and that doesn't help you with anything. We don't just have pitch and moan sessions here. I'm talking practical things. I'm not hating on Russell Wilson by saying that he overpaid. Well, they're happily married. And I'm like, okay, even if that were the case, this is still bad. This isn't about are they happily married. This is about the idea that people are trying to push on the rest of us that this is something to emulate. That because this works for them, that this isn't a bad idea for every other male out there. That's the damn problem. This is a bad idea. This is a bad deal. This only works if you completely lack self-respect and dignity. That's the only way that, quote unquote, this works. And everyone is constantly trying to bludgeon and badger men into doing things and taking deals that don't work for us. That we're just a resource to be exploited. That it's your job to build yourself up to a couple of $1 million of value and then go find the first deadbeat leftover scallywag to drop it on in front of that she now wants to get reformed after every damn body is run through her. That males just lose all regard for whether or not she run through. And that you're supposed to sit up here and simp yourself to death. That you're grabbing another man's kids and that's, oh well, that's your tax that you pay for being with a female with flat abs. And that even if you're a guy who should have all the leverage in the world on your side, that you're still supposed to mismanage it because all the females who mismanage their youth, well, it's your job now to come in and save them. Now, it's not their job to save you. If you're a guy doing without, oh well. 80% of the females are chasing 20% of the men. Oh well. Chrissy responded to the email, y'all. I'm like, why am I not surprised to hear this? I just want you all to know mismanagement. Just personal mismanagement. Complete and total personal mismanagement. So I'm not gonna expose the contents, but mismanagement. The issue is on her side, not mine. And one more thing, you are messing up my program. So I need to focus on everybody else, and this is why men don't want to slow down because we got business to take care of, and y'all sitting over there chirping. You're causing complications. You're not used to things rolling smoothly. This is how we know you've never been part of a real man's program before, because your behavior and demeanor, things supposed to roll smoothly. He's not supposed to have to keep interrupting what he's doing, so he can get you straightened out. No. In any case, The issue for Russell there is that this is what happens when a man overpays. He overpays, is overvalued, and that's wrong. You see, he let the cat out of the bag that when he got out of his first marriage, he had his head aligned properly then. Okay, she still ain't got the damn thing fixed yet, so she might not ever make it, y'all. She might not ever make it, so I don't know. Yeah, that bootleg, that old bootleg email she got, I don't know what to do with that, so I guess I'll wait till she gets that straightened out. So, before she comes back lying. We'll just wait to see if she ever gets it straightened out. Understand something here. Fellas, the issue was he had things straight when he first got divorced. When he first got divorced, that's what it was supposed to be. When he first got divorced, he had his head on straight. He was focused on himself. He was focused on what he needed to do. He was focused on investing in him. And that was when he was at the height of his abilities. He gets with her, and I showed y'all the timeline. Literally everything went downhill after he got with her. He got with her, and that was the last time he had a winning season or anything else. Okay, but you know what? As far as he's concerned, football doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore because he's found something more important. Now, do you think that that's what she was looking for? Do you think that's what she was looking for? Do you think she was looking to get with him and it would all be downhill after that? Hell no, she thought she caught him on the upswing. She was silly enough to think she caught another Tom Brady. It's like, oh no, baby, this is it for him. This was the high water mark. He's no longer concerned about football. He's just concerned about hanging on to you. He's just concerned about hanging on to you. That's the only thing he's concerned about now. That's it. And as long as he's got you, he's done. He's done. Now, that's when you knew you were in trouble. That's the problem with this pedestalization. He feels he's done everything that he needs to do. He doesn't have to get out there and keep winning. He doesn't have to get out there and keep plugging because, you see, he's emotionally dependent on you. He was waiting for somebody to pedestalize with mommy issues and simp for, and now that he's got you, he's like, why do I have to compete anymore? I've got everything I wanted. I just need to stay employed in the league. I don't need to be at the top of it anymore. I need to focus most of my energies on Lil Future. Nigga, please. Yeah, all of you folks sitting up here talking about patting him on the back for that kind of talk. By the way, yeah, he figures I don't have to focus on football primarily. I just need to focus on Lil Future. Because, you see, that's what Big Ciara wants. She wants me to focus on Lil Future. Or at least he thought that. And in the process, you've lost all the status. Do you all think that Ciara wants to walk through the NFL stadiums with CBS sports commentator Russell Wilson? Russell sold her on the dream. He sold her on the dream that eventually he was going to be starting for a team again. And don't worry, baby, stick with me. We going back to the Super Bowl at some point. No, you ain't. The ride is over. And she has been here to preside over the decline. So she's gotten her bag together as far as the assets are concerned. She's certainly got them off in him. When she gets ready to make that move, she's taken care of in that regard. But as for him, he could have had so much more. This is where males poison themselves. They could have had so much more. So much more. Russell Wilson's career over the last decade could have been so much bigger. He could have been in conversations that only other quarterbacks could have been in, and now he won't be. He didn't just lose focus, he lost respect. Because whether people want to admit it or not, they can see that his decline in performance coincided with his connection to her. Whether they want to believe it or not, they can see that. They can see that his decline in performance directly coincided with his connection to her. Once he got with her, play went downhill. Everybody sees that. Do you think he's going to be a better commentator than he was a quarterback? I'm not downing that. What I'm saying is that, do you realize that's not his primary focus? He got a big bag out of Denver and he's done competing. Why does he have to compete for her anymore as far as he's concerned? Well, once she agreed to marry him, he doesn't have to fight anymore. Now we just need to cruise. But did you notice that your woman is still competing, sir? She's not sitting down. She's still competing. I don't know if she's ever going to have another number one hit song again, but I do know that she's not sitting on her laurels. Did you notice that? Of course he didn't. Because you see, he got everything that he came for. He got everything that he wanted, and he got everything that he came for. And once he got that, he's like, why do I have to work so hard now? Baby, I got you. You and me need to just cruise into the sunset. But you see, I'm just telling you, that's not going to work for her. Well, Jason, why not? Because you see, the biggest music album in the world right now is Drake's Iceman. And Future, despite the shenanigans with Kendrick Lamar, Future found his way on not just a single, but the damn video.
What? Damn!
What did I tell y'all? Future is still at the top of his game. He is still in the headlines. He is still on the chart toppers. Future is still swinging at the top of his game. His baby mama and her husband aren't. So when she stops in traffic and hears Drake's new album bumping, when she turns on her timeline and sees people tagging Future and talking about Future, and her husband is now out of the headlines altogether. Nobody's talking about Russell Wilson. He's out of them altogether. Do you think that's what she thought she was signing up for? You really think she's going to be okay with that? I mean, you're okay with it, but then again, it's like, have you realized what the hell going on? Let's go over here and jump back over here on Zoom again. Let me see. All right. Loner, what's on your mind?
How you doing? Can you see me?
Yes, sir. We see you.
Okay. So let me, quick question. Do you need me to still be cam up or no?
Yes, sir. You need to be, sir.
Okay. It's going to be a quickie.
Just in case you start trolling. Go ahead.
Oh, no trolling here. But what I want to know is why the hell Russell Wilson dated Ciara's future baby mama. I think I just saw the not the article, but the video of Keke Palmer on her podcast. He said he's gonna take some time off. Took a year off. Then about a year later, I guess he was praying to the Lord, saying, "God, send me a good woman." Here comes Ciara about a year later, and he knew she was the one. I'm like, you simp Bama. Why the fuck did you chose her? You could get any other one, but you had to choose future baby mom. He couldn't do no better. That's why I just said use a simp. So that's what I wanted to know. Why did he chose her? He could have choose any other woman, but he just chose her for some reason.
Because this is a deficiency he's had his whole life is my thing. Please understand, Russell Wilson was raised by religious parents. And he was raised by religious parents. Okay, fine. But what kind of religion were they practicing? What kind of home did they give? So exactly. You see this exact same dynamic with Aisha Curry. So these kids who are raised in these religious homes, they talk about that a whole lot. Yeah, but now they're at a level of prestige, or they're in circles that their parents never were. And what they're exhibiting and exposing is their deficiency. They felt awkward. They've never felt okay. So what do you do in a place that prides itself on glitz and glamour and fashion, and you're just a duck out of water, or a fish out of water? So Russell has seen guys who got real shine, they got real prestige, they get real attention from the females, and that's never been him. But he wanted it. He spent his whole life being lame, let's just be honest. His first wife, however they split up, whether she cheated on him or whatever, the bottom line is he sees that as a point of deficiency. She was never somebody he could flex over or whatever, and he's felt deficient standing next to guys that he felt could. Add all those things together, and when he got away from his first wife, the first thing he goes looking for, I need a chick gonna give me some shine. I need a chick that other men desire. That's what he means by tilts the room. I want a chick that she fly. I need a chick that makes me look less lame. So she's a chick that other men desire. That's what I need. Yeah, that right there. I need a fly chick that other dudes desire. That became the priority.
And you could have took your ass right there. Hell, we would have said Colombia, Brazil, got all the hotties all you want. Better than Ciara without the child and without take care of another nigga's kids.
Yeah, but remember...
I'm sorry. He couldn't get no better. I'm sorry. My bad.
But remember that was not the priority, though. Remember that. He came in the door completely distracted. That's the real issue. He came in the door completely distracted. He got to the Super Bowl and that was it. He was done. He was done. He was at that point desperate for a female companion. That's what he wanted. This was the bucket list, and this was the one thing that he felt had been left undone. So he concentrated and focused all his effort and all of his energy, and he was willing to give away the farm to plug that hole. Brother, remember, a drought is not just something that happens once in a while. It's a state that you live in. It's a constant condition. And he's been in that drought now for decades. From the time he was a little kid. He was never the guy that the girls wanted like that, even as a football player, because it's like he's a wet blanket. Case in point, even talking to Keke Palmer, I'm just saying he tries to act like he's got gravitas, but he doesn't. He tries to act like he's that dude, but he does. She don't know me. Dude, it doesn't even sound authentic coming from you. That doesn't sound like it coming from you. Keke had to sit up here and be your cheerleader because that's not you talking. When does Russell Wilson ever talk like that? When has he ever talked that way? Russell Wilson is not the trash talking. Richard Sherman and them dudes, beast mode. Those are the trash talking, stand on business, 10 toes down. That's them kind of guys. That's Russell trying to channel a male that he obviously isn't. That's what makes it bad. That part right there.
So he couldn't just smashed her and called her a day, and you just had to marry her, and you kind of help Future ass out because he's going to show a benefit of it.
No, but he doesn't have the character to do that. Russell Wilson, he's a fall in love type of dude. So he can't just have a bed buddy and send her on her way. He keeps this that contradiction. He knows what he actually wants to do, but he's got his mother chirping in his ear. He's got that memory of his mother chirping in his ear. So he wants the hose, but what will mom think? So you have this conflict going on. And this was the ultimate result of him trying to resolve that conflict. So he went and got what he wanted at the same time. Well, but I'm going to go get a hoe by mama's rules. And that makes it all right, doesn't it?
Where's his daddy at? Did daddy approve, or daddy's just kind of
according to him, dad was on his deathbed, so.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about he did mention about that, so he couldn't have no say.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, he's still trying to please them in that regard.
What?
He's still trying to please them. He's trying to please whatever his idea of them is, whatever that is. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to do that.
And that's why he's called simp, for a reason.
Well, remember, when you've been in a drought and you've been without, when you finally do get an option, when the door finally does open, that's what it is. On my timeline, I see so many guys. I see so many of them. They've gotten older. They're getting pensions. You know, that's how bad things are. And they're trying to relive their younger years or make up for what they didn't. And what I'm seeing is a string of fellas. I mean, I shouldn't say a string. What I see is mostly single moms. And these guys have basically they haven't gotten any responses, bro. They haven't gotten any bites. Imagine going fishing for 20 years and never got a bite of nothing. Pretty soon it starts to feel like torment. It starts to feel like humiliation. It becomes a very unpleasant experience. You're going out fishing and don't get anything. When they finally did get a bite, he's never felt anything tug on the string before. So that's it. He's like, man, screw it. I'm going all in because I can't afford for this fish to wiggle its way off the hook again.
Like a little small piece of fish, he'll just get down. I'm just gonna settle for this. You're gonna put that back. You can't have that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're really showing you how desperate they were for it. So he wanted that, but he's a guy who really wants to deal with hoes, but can't deal with the hoe rules because he feels guilty. And when he met one who needed to be dealt with that way, he couldn't bring himself to do it. So she hasn't changed now. She's doing all the stuff she was doing before. She hasn't changed. He's just sitting here making an ass of himself, pretending that we don't see it. I just want this to be an example to men out there, because the problem is that most females today, let's tell the truth, most of them wish they could pull off what Ciara did. Can I go through my hoe phase with the guy I really want to be with? And even if it doesn't work out, that's okay because I followed my feelings and I followed my heart. And that matters more than anything else, is that I followed my feelings. And if it doesn't work out, well, then I shouldn't be penalized for it. Now, as a male, if you screw off your 20s and 30s and you broke in your 40s and 50s, the female's like, nigga, you got to hold that L. But their ultimate fantasy is that they can do all this stuff and that there will be no penalty at the end of it. At the end of it, there will be no penalty and they'll be allowed to ride. The guy might be less desirable, but ultimately her priority is I won't be penalized for being what I really want to be. And that there's a sucker out there who'll just play along with it. We see it, but he'll just play along. And that's the dangerous part for society at will, is the idea that as men, that's what we should expect to be the norm. That we should get everybody's warmed over hoe, warmed over freak off, warmed over chick, and that you're going to be stuck taking care of her in this mess for the rest of your life. And that's what a real man is.
Now, what about how many more years left in his football career? Once that's over.
Dude, it's already over. He's retired. Okay, he hadn't been keeping up. But no, he's already retired, dude. It's a wrap. It is a wrap. He's already done. It's already over. Show y'all on your screens here. I mean, he's going to CBS to go be a commentator, allegedly. We'll see how that works out. Because I didn't hear anybody, arguing or begging for Russell Wilson to be on commentary, although that's a hell of a thing. He's not even out of the game for a few seasons first. So what this really shows you is that there's something motivating that. The fact that he's jumping directly from a team straight to commentary, yeah, there's something driving that. Somebody is telling you that you're not competitive. And he felt he really needed to do something to show that he still has relevance in the league. And it's like, dude, you're not in the league anymore. Being a commentator is not in the league anymore. So in reality, it looks bad. But he needs to keep relevance somehow. And I'm just telling you, status. That was the reason that she jumped when she left Future. The only reason she let Russell in the door was because he held the promise of giving her status back, which, for her at least, it kept her relevant. So it worked out for her. The problem is, without him in the league, she loses all that. And I think this is a desperate last-ditch attempt by him to try to hold on to that because there was no other team offering anything. And without that, you go away. Case in point, I want you all to do yourselves a favor tonight. You can go to any search engine and just type in Russell Wilson and see what quote-unquote news comes up. You can type in Russell Wilson and see what news comes up. And try not to be too disappointed. Now, that's the part right there that is the real problem. The real problem is when you're asking what's next to going on. Nobody's talking about, we can't wait for him to get in the broadcast booth or whatever. That's not happening. And without that, his starts to look like hers.
Is she going to divorce him anytime soon, or that's coming down the pike?
Brother, with these athletes, you see the same arc. She got the kids. She got the house. We know what she really wants to be with. You can play the game so long as you're getting the benefits. Remember, what was her name? Tiana Taylor. Folks are clowning her because it's like, hey, baby, you used to be able to get on the, you used to be able to get in the basketball games easy back when you was with the basketball player. Now it's like, it's looking real lame. She looks just weird being at the damn games, and it's like, baby, you're not even with a player anymore. So when you think of it in those regards, Ciara, I mean, maybe you can get into a football game with a legacy player. I guess he can. But as far as you being relevant and folks talking about where he is in the lineup, that's all gone. So what I'm saying is that you don't have any more status in the stadium than the fans do. You're just another fan in the stadium now. You're just another person. You're just another mom with kids showing up. Is that what you came to him for to be? Just another mom showing up. Brother, you know she felt like there was another Super Bowl coming, at least another one or two, before she had to leave. Because status is what she came for. She wanted to show the world that Future didn't just leave me a down and out baby mama. See, I can bounce back. Well, now that that's played out, what's the motivation for you to stay now that you'll no longer get the status aspect? Because she doesn't need the money. All you get now is old Russell. And he's going to be around home a lot more than he was before. A lot more.
Getting nice.
Are you okay with that now? So when you think about that for a few moments, I'm going to stick by the prediction, brother. She's either going to divorce him within the next 3-4 years, because she's 40 now. He's 37, she's 40. And it's already over for him. He's not going to go the Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers thing. And he's in better shape, better health, and younger, and didn't make it. So she's 40 now. Now what do you do? If she's going to make that move, she's going to have to make it within the next 3 to 4 calendar years. She's going to have to. Or, worse, she stays. And she just does him the way that Jada Pinkett does Will Smith.
Yep. She can probably stay and embarrass the hell out of him. Wear some. They probably have a BET show next week. Next week, toward the end of the month. So I don't know if she's going to be in there wearing some wild outfits. I don't know.
Yeah, and with him talking all that Christian talk and getting clowned for it. But then he's used to getting clowned. But like I say, I imagine, I don't know what church they go to, if they even go to. I'm pretty sure she ducks out every Sunday. She's sitting in the back drinking the communion wine. What? But maybe, obviously, I mean, look, if you're saying you're at a church that Ciara goes to, assuming she ever even shows up, or you're at a church that Russell Wilson goes to, I'm sure the church considers that to be a status symbol for them. I just don't think that it has any value outside of it. Right. And now you're going to have to live with it. So if she does stay, she's just going to punish him for not being Future.
Well, he chose her, so he got to deal with it. That's his luggage.
He'll like it. I mean, well, he'll tolerate it. He'll tolerate it, and at best, that'll be the best he can hope for, is to have this really sadistic, punitive relationship where she's constantly doing little things and constantly saying stuff to remind you of what you're not. And you kind of just settle in like Norman Bates and just get used to the abuse. Yeah, and that's what your life becomes. And you're dead inside. You're a husk. And you're just going to spend the rest of your days desperately hoping that you can get her to reverse and go back to that charade she was doing when you met her a decade ago. If I can get you to just go back to that.
Yep, just like Fleet Johnson, I'm just going to bend over, take it up the ass, and trying to be the dead horse, trying to conform to what you want to be. She ain't going to change. She's going to stay the same. You just have to take it, unfortunately.
That's what I look for. Thank you for getting this call. I mean, the best you can hope for at this point, that's the best it'll be. That's the best it'll be. We saw this with Tom Brady and them. You know, you try to appease them, go buy her another car, buy her another house, take her on vacation. That's not what it is. She came to you because she is a woman addicted to glamour and fame. She likes to walk through the airport. She likes to walk through the mall with people saying, hey, that's Ciara. She wants to be the it girl. And as long as you're the it dude, she feels like you two are a, quote, power couple. Okay, how can she be a power couple with a powerless man? It becomes that. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get Miller up here on Zoom. Let's see if we can get Miller up here on Zoom. Hopefully folks not calling with the Zimbabwe broadband. Yeah, you start getting desperate and then you start doing things to try to hold on and hang in. And can we turn back time? And it's like, okay, man, you can do that, but it's just understand you'll run out of resources before she runs out of desire to leave. Okay, I got Miller Boy here on Zoom. Miller Boy, make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on. YouTube is not going to see you, but just to make sure we don't have any trolling issues, make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on. I'll give you 5 seconds to go ahead and get that taken care of. Then we got to move on. All right, Miller Boy, I can give you 3 more seconds to get that taken care of, and then we have to move on. Okay, Miller Boy, I can give you 1 more second to get that taken care of, and then we're going to have to move on. Okay, Miller Boy is having technical difficulties, so they can give us a call back some other weekend. I do this as a cautionary tale. I do this to follow up. I do this because I know the broken down, beaten down mama's boys, bastard babies, bastard daughters. I understand that you're very, very angry to see these things. You don't like that because it panned out exactly the way that we told you that it would. Because you are terrified about the consequences and ramifications that it has for you. There's a reason why so many of you have tried to sit up here and bully us about Chrissy Teigen, about Aisha Curry, about Ciara, about Keke Palmer, about Lala Anthony, about Kim Kardashian, about, okay, you see the list. Do you see how long this list is getting? And the bottom line is that you will not be honest about what your real motivation is for arguing for Ciara. Your real motivation is that you're hoping that you could play the same gutter game she played and get the same results. The problem is you ain't Ciara. She's a one-off who found a one-off simp because Ciara was already at a higher level. That will not happen for you. You will get a guy who is no name, no status, no nothing, obviously socially awkward, and you'll have to just sit there and he's the little oddball, and eventually you'll have to just settle in and be like, oh well, that's what that's going to have to be. It's going to have to be that. That wasn't what you were looking for. That's the real part that kills your soul. The part that kills your soul is that. The whole phase that didn't kick off and kick in the way you thought it would. You see, things don't change or get better if there's not a penalty. There has to be a penalty, people. There must be a penalty. There needs to be a penalty for unresourceful, failed males. If you're a bastard kid, you were raised by your no good single mama, your daddy in and out of jail, you know what? I understand you had strikes against you. You had marks against you. Jason, they didn't teach me nothing, dude. Nobody ever gets taught everything. Nobody ever gets taught everything. We got males out here today, don't own a tool set, don't know how to change a tire on a car. They are as helpless as the hose. What? I mean, you got grown males out here, don't know how to fill up the car with gas, don't know how to change a spare tire, don't know how to change the oil, the air filters, don't know how to install hinges on a door. Don't know how to use a power tool of any kind. Don't know or care to do yard work. He is completely, totally lacking in any masculine skill or ability. Completely lacking in it. Hell, even for the part about defending the family, he doesn't know how to use a gun. Even when it comes to defending the family, he doesn't know how to use a gun. He doesn't know how to maintain a firearm. Even if he bought one, he doesn't know how to disassemble it, clean it, and reassemble it and test it. He doesn't know how to do that. Grown males today. He knows how to get a manicure and a pedicure and shave his legs. He knows how to buy a pair of Nike shoes. But he's otherwise worthless. And he desperately wants to believe that if he makes enough money, he will be able to avoid the consequences of his incompetence and his inadequacy. Let's just say that that's what it really is. You're hoping that your mama boyism from the slut who raised you, that's that little cutie mess she raised you to believe, and that'll carry you the rest of your days, and that, well, as long as I'm cute and if I make enough money, then I can avoid consequences. And let me explain to you here, the bill always comes due, particularly for males. It always comes due. Eventually, you're going to be in a situation where you can't hide it. You're going to get a flat tire. You're going to get a car repair the way they do cars today. You're going to do something. And your ability to flip out your checkbook is not going to look masculine. It's going to make you look deficient. There's going to be plumbing in the house that needs to be done. You don't know how to even unclog a sink. You don't know how to unclog a toilet. You don't know how to clean gutters. And your woman is going to be sitting there asking, what do we do? And you are going to sound just as clueless and unknowledgeable as her. And at that moment, she won't be able to deny or ignore what she got sitting in front of her. Doesn't matter how quick you can flip out your checkbook. What she knows is that the pipes are leaking right now. And you have no idea how to fix it. So she just has to sit there with it till a real man shows up.
And deal with it.
She remembers that. You see, throwing around your credit card is no substitute. That's not, you can't checkbook masculinity. You can't do that. You can't checkbook competence. You can't rent another man's competence, because now your relationship simply becomes a competition between which one of you makes more money and is willing to spend it. But she doesn't respect that. She respects you doing things she can't do. The reason for a man to be handy is because you're showing that you are literally subduing the earth. You're showing that you can do things that she cannot do. She can whip out her checkbook and whip out her credit card and make a payment. Your job is to show you can do things she can't. And every flat tire, every alternator, every gutters, every woodwork, every plumbing, every one of these things that you keep having to call another man for or outsource, every time you do that, you're reminding her of what you're not. And she's not going to say anything. No, she just catalogs that. Now you start resorting to whipping out your checkbook, and now you have to have checkbook romance. I'll buy her another gift. I'll buy this, I'll buy that. So it's not about who you are, it's about what you can buy. Well, what do you do when eventually you've bought her everything that she could possibly want or desire? Now all she's got is you. Okay, but there's not much you there. At that point, the bill comes due. The bill becomes due when you have situations like this occurring, and it becomes due on you. Now you start seeing these kind of things happen, and you start telling yourself, well, I mean, I won't ever have to pay the penalty. I'll just keep trying to running around like on a hamster wheel. I'll just keep trying to make more money. I'll try to make more money to avoid the ultimate consequences of my inability. So there are males who want to live that way, but there are also a bunch of females who want to live that way. Well, when I was in my prime and I should have been making sure I was using it then, well, you see, I was off having a good time. And I'm like, okay, there's nobody here to stop you from quote unquote having a good time. Just understand a good time comes with a great big good bill. And the great evil of Russell Wilson is that it created this illusion. It only lasted for about 5 seconds, but it created this national talking point that women could be as bad and nasty as they wanted to be, and that was all right. Well, please understand, nobody can stop you from doing that, but it's not going to be all right. It's not going to be all right. It's not going to be okay. There's only one Russell Wilson, thank goodness. And by the way, Playboy Clay, there's a reason that the men have respect for him. You don't see the females talking about Clay because they mad as hell because the men respect Clay. Hell, as a matter of fact, fellas who thought he might have been a little lame at first, everybody's on the Clay train. He had an opportunity to show us where his manhood was. He was like, yeah, I ain't Russell Wilson. And I showed you all, Russell Wilson has become a mascot for everything that males don't want to be. You all thought you were going to hijack him and turn him into something we would want to be like. And he became the poster child for everything we don't want to be. And that's who Ciara is the proud owner of. The guy that men don't want to be. Kind of hard to flex and brag when you walk places knowing that guys are looking at him like, yeah, we don't want to be him. You're not going to avoid the bill. Hell, Ciara couldn't avoid it. She has to sit there pretending that this lame is what she really wanted. Please take a look at Future and take a look at Lame-O. Women change. They don't change. People have what they want, and then they try to maintain what they want. If they can't keep what they want, then they have to start making adjustments. And so here we are. The great national fraud to attempt to say that Ciara's prayer would work. No, it didn't. And Russell finally admits all the character flaws and character defects that I told you about were there from the beginning. He's now actually admitted it. Yeah, it was exactly what Jason Black said it was. It was exactly like Jason Black said it was. It's exactly like that. Now, there's a lesson in here for the rest of you who haven't made that mistake. There's a lesson in here for the rest of you. For the ladies in here, you can sit up here and go sexual joyriding if you wish. Ladies, you can use your best years to go sexual joyriding if you wish. Please understand, in your mama's era, there weren't so many hoes and single moms. So fellas were willing to take out the few who were there off the market. Today, the market is overflowing with them. There's not a big market for it. There's a lot of supply, very little demand. You can play stupid games and win stupid prizes sitting there looking at Ciara, fantasizing that you'll get the same results. You better take a look around you. Obviously, that's not happening. For the fellas out there, you can be stupid and dumb too. You can become salary simps and pension pimps. You can go ahead and try it. There are more of you suffering under it than anything else. Having the damn leftovers. There are more of you suffering under it than are thriving under it, by the way. I know you're weak, you're lame, you're cashing it in. Like, Jason, I'm starving over here. Okay, well, if you stop being lame, that'll fix that. I don't know how. Okay, well. All right. Go ahead and move in this compromise. Seeing a bunch of fellas here lately, you're getting older and stuff. And the young cats are actually G'ing up. It's you old niggas sitting up here compromising. What? It's like, okay, go ahead and do that. But these chicks are vultures. That's the crazy part. It's not like you fellas are grabbing poly purebred. Y'all are grabbing straight piranhas. These niggas are grabbing straight piranhas. These are straight man-eaters that they're sitting up here snuggling up with and trying to slap a ring on it. Have you ever tried to put a ring on a piranha? Damn! These fellas are grabbing, straight predators. If I see one more lame-ass dude sitting up here, I'm going to say this tonight because I got to say this. There are 2 of you fellas on Facebook. I'm not going to put you out there, dude. You doing the whole Russell Wilson thing, and she doesn't even mention you on her page.
And deal with it, nigga.
Okay, I just had to get that off my chest tonight. By the way, dude, while you out here doing the most and talking about birthdays with little man and this, that, and the other, by the way, she doesn't even mention you on her page. So much for respect and reverence and whatever in the hell else you think is going. She doesn't even mention you. That's how bad it is. You think there's no problem there? Is that what you tell yourself? Is that nothing to see here? No issue? Oh, really? Okay. Tell me you're in a drought and desperate without telling me you're in a drought and desperate. Tell me you're in a drought and desperate without telling me you're in a drought and desperate. So fellas, just understand we were proven right. We were proven correct. You can see all the childhood issues that caused it and involved it. That's where you're at. The best you can hope for is to sit up here and patch things together for future's baby mama or somebody else's, because just understand if she been ran through, she liked it. Please, you can fool yourself and believe she didn't really like it. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. You sitting there every night telling them she didn't really like that. When Future and all them dudes was doing it with she didn't really like that. Well, don't worry, she over there now. She making whole damn videos about it. She's twerking with a bunch of hoes at gas stations, and he said, I'm talking about, she don't really like it. Sir Shy, look, females understand athletes are not brain trust. These are not guys who got what they are. They didn't get to be good players because they're geniuses. It's a fluke of genetics. So if you're a female who can deal with these dummies, okay. They're race horses. Athletes are not geniuses. They're not brain trusts. They're race horses. They're race horses. Just understand that. So when you see them, don't think of them as these are normal people. They're race horses. From the time they were kids, they were raised to be race horses. And now they're grown race horses, and there are people who are taking advantage of it. There are folk taking advantage of it. And that's exactly where they are. As men, what you don't want to be is deceived. The whole point about recognizing the dynamic between Russell Wilson and Ciara was because what you want to do is be cognizant of how many females want to emulate Ciara. If they are defending Ciara, niggas, she's telling you, hey, my whole phase is on deck. If she's defending Ciara or Meg Thee Stallion or Nicki Minaj, fella, she's telling you my whole stage is on deck. I identify with them. And it's only going to be a matter of time. If it hasn't happened, because most fellas, it's already happened. They just want to see how well you'll degrade yourself. Who's going to be the bailout? And that's how you end up with a new generation of males who are sitting there with Big Mama Thornton or whatever. When she's no longer, when the cellulite sets in and all the other things pile up, and you're still hoping that things will go back the way they were a decade ago. This is a cautionary tale. Please understand, the end game is not divorce. We've already reached the end game. With Will Smith is the ultimate example that it doesn't matter about divorce. Will Smith is the ultimate example that they look like a happy couple. Everybody was talking about that, about Will and Jada, about Papoose and Remy. Everybody already said all this garbage. Remember? Are you listening, Chrissy? What? Everybody already tried this garbage, this Hollywood stuff. Oh, they look this, they look that. Nobody says that anymore. Y'all just hating on Will and Jada. Will is happy with it. Walked up on stage in front of the universe and destroyed his life. And please remember, all the jackasses universally on the internet were cheering for him right up until the moment he did it. They cheered for him and walked him right off into that. Sitting there the whole time cheering it on and talking about how great it was, with people like me saying this is a disaster in the making. Okay, the rest of these folk was patting him on the back and cheering. He destroys himself, and then they move on and swipe to another reel. And you're having to sit there with your woman making whole books and videos talking about how much she loved squeezing on August Alsina in your bed in the house that you pay for, in the bed that you sleep in. As she was loving, squishing, and squirming and throwing some sexual healing on August Alsina in your house, in your bed that you pay for. After all these decades of work, you went bankrupt and every damn thing else and had to fight your way back to this. And this is what you get. So for those of you who may be thinking that I'm waiting for a divorce, I'm not waiting for anything. We've already reached the destination. The destination is right here. The fakeness, the phoniness. We know what's real. We know what really happened. We know where Russell really comes from. We know where she really comes from. And we know what's real. We know that she's the same chick she always was. We also know that he's a lying, he's shown that he's a liar, a snake, a fraud, a lame. And he's going to sit there and try to ride this thing out for as long as he can. Now he's been relegated to a broadcast booth, so he'll ride it out as long as he can. But we all know what's really going on and where she really wants to be. And if she does stick around, it's like, yeah, we know what it's really about. I want this to be a cautionary tale for the rest of you, because your chick might not look as fly as Ciara, but that won't prevent you from getting in the same situation if you are a desperate male. If you are a desperate male who overlooks warning signs, if you're a desperate male who's got some kind of conflict going on in your mind, if you're a desperate male who does that, please understand there are a never-ending stream of predatory females out here. She's been with fellas a lot more on the game than you, and she's looking for a guy she can get over on. And you'll be telling yourself, oh, don't worry, I run this. Telling yourself she needs me. And in reality, you just walked yourself off into it. And she won't be anywhere as near as well known or famous or whatever. But there's a bunch, fellas, please understand, it's not about this chick being Ciara. It's about her being a wannabe Ciara. I mean, they want to be everything except Ciara's size and looks. What? Let's be clear about that, fellas. They want to be, when they say they want to be Ciara, they want to be everything except as fit as Ciara. They don't want to be as fit as her or cute as her. They don't want to be that. They don't want to be as cute as Ciara. They don't want to be as fit as Ciara. So, yeah. And they're looking for the guy out there that they can see you've been in a drought, and let's go get him. Now that all my best options are gone. And there are a lot of you fellas, and all you can do is just keep working. You keep working and get your 401k together. And she's like, why do I got to get a 401k? All I got to do is marry you and take yours. Why do I have to get my life together? All I have to do is marry you or get a kid with you and take yours. I mean, I'll ask if I just have to, but other than that, why do I have to get my life together? I can just get with your lame ass and take yours. And I predict that there's going to be a whole bunch of fellas who end up just like that. Hopefully there will be far fewer than we've seen in generations past, but there's going to be a whole bunch of fellas get took like that. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the definitive school of power dynamics. You have seen a master class tonight, only for those who actually have respect for that. For the rest of you, go back to your sex doll gurus and play through folk and go on that end. But for those of you who actually want to put these things into practice, you've seen the master course in doing that tonight. So if you want to stay up to date with it, click that subscribe button and that notification button. Join us each and every time that we are here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. I've been doing a lot of work this week. Going to give you all an update on that here tomorrow. Doing a lot of work this week. Catch up with us. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business